Weekdays, 7. This is the Central Texas Memorial Leader in Sport. Syntex Sports Network.
Sports, man. We can talk about sports.
Central Texas for sports. It's Syntex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. With all your sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is hosted by Jalen Davis. Weekdays, 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas Memorial Leader in Sport. Syntex Sports Network.
Sports, man. We can talk about sports.
Infinity Sports.
Yeah, we can't hear.
I always look at you because you're beautiful. I love that. All right, man. I'm trying to find my earbud. I thought you had some too.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, man. All this technology over here, I'm over here trying to work the. Yeah, I'm trying to work the board from the radio board as well as the studio. I just want to welcome everybody. You're on with HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm here at the 254 Podcast Studio, broadcasting live on 94.5 HD Infinity Sports Radio. We have a really big show ready for you tonight. We have some really special guests, man. And but before we get started, I go ahead and ask Coach Campbell. Coach Campbell, how you doing?
Listen, man, you know what it is. You know what this week is. This is SWAC Championship Week. FAMU, Jackson State. This is what HBCU football is all about, man. Hey, listen, boy, you see what I got in the background here, man? We coming to win championships this weekend, man.
All right. So we Coach Cole.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I seen you on TV. You had that pink suit on. I had to put it on the fly, man. You made that pink look good. Before we get started, Coach, how was your weekend and how you doing?
Man, let me tell you something. My weekend was splendid, man. Started off flying to my hometown, going home and seeing mama. She's 90 years old. Don't feel sorry for her that you to hear that number because she's still moving around. And, man, she's just more laid back now. And, she don't put her time in. And, she got her boys, her 9 boys, or, 8, of course, by my brother. But her 8 boys just taking care of her, man. She got her feet up. We running and going to get cheesesteaks and get her breakfast. And, it's a pleasure, Coach, man, because, my mom, man, she serviced. Just think, Coach, she had 9 sons, right? Let's just say if one of us just brought one guy home, that's 18 kids, right? Let's think about that, Coach. And, man, our house was always coming and going. And one thing she always would say, man, don't ever turn down no food because it's a blessing, and don't turn down no offers. And anytime somebody came to the house, Coach, it was something to eat, But she's special and went on, man, and got a chance to go bike riding with my brother. And, as the youngest, I used to be on the handlebar. Now I'm big enough to ride my own bike. So man, we kind of rode around Dayton, man, and just with my bro, and then everybody started flying in, and then of course the game coming down to the game. I seen some of my old friends I went to school with. Central State homecoming was bopping, y'all. It was going on, man, and coach, I had to come out of that pink, baby. It's October, a tribute to cancer patients, So,
Coach.
I hit him with that pink.
You was wearing that suit, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I hate the picture you sent me. I didn't get your shoes in there, Coach. I left your shoes out, but your shoes was color coordinated too, man. And so it was.
It was called the pink suit with the soft blue.
Oh, you say the pink suit with the soft blue. Okay. Hey guys, we got a really big show today, and we had some things that we wanted to address. We got a great guest to assist in addressing it. It's a conversation that started Saturday night after all the games completed. I guess it really came to a head and culminated when a punter missed the ball inside 30 seconds that caused your alma mater, Texas Southern, to lose. But before I get started and you bring your guests on, Coach, have you ever seen anything like that?
Well, you see that when guys are not prepared to sit in that position as a head coach, and I heard it's into it's speak after the game, his interview after the game, and he kind of said that players got to play and then make those plays. The center's got to snap the ball, the kicker got to catch it, and the ball. And I hear that a lot, and sometimes as head coaches, we got to take some of that blame, and one of the things is they were so backed up that his heels was at the out of bounds line. And of course, they put on a block punt, and they were able to block the punt and win in, and of course beat the school. And I heard Coach Dishman's reasoning. I kind of think different. It's not because I'm not a Texas Southern. Believe me, it's you got to put those kids in right situations to make plays, as well as they got to make plays. You know what I mean? They're out there, they got to make plays. They go to practice all week, and I buy that. But we as coaches, that's our job. And, and the idea of it was, okay, if we take the safety, we still up one, but now we can kick the ball back and make them go 80. You know what I mean? So, you make the call. He made the call to punt it. That's what he get paid to do, and it didn't work out. And you got to bite on that one, Coach Campbell. You got to bite on that one because you knew they was going to put on punt block. So that was that. And it just was a lot of low scores, a lot of teams that we think should have won, and it's been a lot of that. And it's good for the fans though. When you got a lot of parity, it's good for the fans. It just ain't good for the fans that's on the losing end. So, with no further ado, is he on, Coach?
Yeah, he's
in the black room. This is a guy, man, that I cherished and learned a lot from as I was coming through my coordinator's job when I was at Alabama State, and then he moved on to be the head coach of Grambling. I thought he's first class. He is first class. He's won national championships. He's been on the national championship staff. He's an HBCU man back in the late 70s. Played quarterback for Alcorn State. I can't say enough about my friend and who I think should be on somebody's sideline, Coach. Somebody's sideline. And that's Melvin Spears.
How you guys doing? Excellent introduction.
Yeah. So, Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Coach Campbell in the group, Coach Cole?
Hey, I'm doing well. This is Rocky and I'm doing well. Glad to have you on, Coach Spears. Somebody of your uh, wide knowledge and understanding of football and especially HBCU football. I look forward to bouncing some of these questions off of you that many of our listeners have about what's actually going on in the SWAC and the quality of the play. I look forward to hear your input on that.
One of the things is that we've had a great opportunity to come into a situation where.
Hey, Coach, might have to turn the thing down.
I need to turn my mic down.
No, you're back.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay. The Southwestern Athletic Conference has really been dear to all of us that are sitting there. And certainly when you look at the things that are going on, whether it's technique-wise, whether it's recruiting, whether it's just doing all the little things that made us who we are. And you got to remember now, we're standing on the shoulders of some of the greatest guys that ever coached this game, but also the greatest guys that ever played this game. And when you see the current situation, when you think about our culture, when you think about the things we're looking for, the things we stand for, wow. It's just sometimes you just wonder whether or not they really understand really what we are and the things that we've done.
Well, let me ask you this here, Coach. Back when you were coaching here in the SWAC and you even played in the SWAC, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, I did.
You played at Alcorn, right?
Right, 1979 SWAC champion.
All right. You never forget those, do you, Coach?
Hey, not a day. That's something. Hey, that's something that if they said you couldn't do it, but all of a sudden when you do, it's always there.
Well, let me ask you this here, Coach, because when you were in the league, there were coaches that at the helm who had lots of experience, right?
Yes, we had a bunch of legends.
Big word.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I was just saying we had a bunch of legends during our tenure when we played in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
And thus y'all had legendary names and coaches and this, that, and other. But can you contrast and kind of explain knowing being SWAC champion to 1979 where we had legends at the helm in most of these institutions to now where we have really first-year coaches and very inexperienced head coaches at the helm now? What has transpired?
But what we had back then, what we had then in a legendary mode, we had a group of individuals that were outstanding leaders. And when you look at it, coaching is one thing, but the coach himself has to be an outstanding leader. Not only the coach has to be an outstanding leader, the folks that are basically calling the shots and bringing these young people in to actually promote the university at a high level. The difference in having an Eddie Robertson, a Marino Cassim, Ace Mumford and Coach Richardson and all those guys had excellent blueprint, but they had to go through all the pitfalls in order for us to be able to matriculate toward where we are right now. Right now, I think we are not holding up our end of the bargain simply because of the fact that we think it's all about football, the head coach. The head coach is the ambassador to the university. Everybody knows who the head football coach is. They may not even know who the president is. So therefore, it's a fiduciary responsibility to not only lead, set the standards of what we're trying to do, and continue our great culture that we have. And that's some of the things that I don't see occurring. I think, sometimes it's just an opportunity for a stepping stone to get to another factor, when in fact you got guys that have actually gone through our conference, have paid a price in our conference, and serious about us moving where we used to be, bringing the kind of players in that compete on a real-time basis, day in and day out.
Well, Coach, I know me and you talk about it a lot, about hiring a staff and Rocky went back and looked and said the last 24 years, all the coaches who have won a SWAC championship, what, Rocky, 18 of them, 19 of them ain't even coaching anymore, or
Yeah.
they somewhere else, they out the conference, and a couple of them. So, how you, what's your thoughts on that as well?
Well, I think, Coach, the bottom line is that our opportunities, like you always said, when we had an opportunity to get together, not only do you bring one, you train one as well. I think we've had an opportunity to train a number of individuals that can come back and do the things that we need to do. I don't think that our groups are pulling from the resources that we have, particularly guys that are consistently winners, guys that understands our culture, and guys that really understand football at a high level. I don't think those younger guys are really thinking about it. It's not about whether or not you want their job. I think it's just about being able to share the wisdom that we have in order to help them move toward being successful. Just like the situation you talked about the other night. That's a no-brainer. The situation at Texas Southern. They can say whatever they like, about what decision that you should have made. But the thing is, our task is to get our kids prepared, to do all the little things in order to be successful. And we have to make the right decision to uphold that decision making that goes along. You want them to run, catch, jump, and do all the great things, but they expect us to put them in the right situation and make the right decision in order for them to be successful. And you got to take the safety, kick the ball down on the other end, and then at the end of the day, they got to go 80 yards in 15 seconds with guys that are not very good passers. So therefore, Texas Southern was really had the advantage in the fact that the coach didn't make the right decision. They kind of lost the game. So those are the things with a seasoned guy on the staff. And I don't know who was on Texas Southern staff. I'm just making a bird eye view of what occurred. When you got seasoned guys around you, guys that are champions, guys that understand winning, they would have made certain that those situations were talked about during the timeout.
Yeah. Coach, I want to go down memory lane for a minute. And when you start looking at those championship coaches, all of them had a pedigree, Rocky and Bishop, you know as well. They all was either offensive coordinator from these greats. They were, receiver coach. They was a part of somebody. My tree, of course, everybody know my brother, Pete Richardson, I came up under Coach Lee. I know you, Coach. I guess I'll steal your thunder. You and Doug worked together.
Yes.
Also, y'all came up on Eddie, and then you played for Castle, didn't you?
Marino Castle, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So when you start looking at those championship guys, they all came up underneath greats. Guys that handed the baton off to them. But we don't have that now. And I think that hurts the program. We all talked about Deion Sanders and how great he was for our conference. Don't get me wrong. He brought some thunder to our conference. But when he went to the championship and played seasoned guys, he won the SWAC off of talent and all the fanfare. But when they got down to the brass taxes of coaching, I just don't think that back in our day, he would have ran through the conference like that.
I don't either, because I think, number one, the talent would have been comparable. Certainly, when we talk about the competition, the things that we did at Grambling, the things you guys did at Alabama State, man, it was really, really tough. And then you had Coach Richardson down at Southern University, who really was just going to give you fits. You had Billy Joe that was over at Florida A&M. Joe Taylor, all those guys were really seasoned guys when we came in, but they gave us opportunities to be on those staffs in order to, go and work on our skill sets about all the things that goes on in the coaching. Right now, I don't know why we don't look to bring any of our own guys in. We got some outstanding guys that are still coaching either the high school level. Bring them and get them seasoned in order to get them ready to be head coaches in our league that understands our culture. And that's one of the things that are really not occurring. It's all about these administrators that are bringing these guys in that certainly, I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody. I'm just calling facts of facts. I feel like we got guys that are basically played in our league, guys that were outstanding in our league. And I'm talking about real bright guys, particularly like a guy like Clyde Evans, Bruce Eugene. Clyde Evans was a 4.0 student. Bruce Eugene made the highest Wonder Lick score of everybody, right? And he can't get a job. And I don't understand that factors when we got all these guys that are suffering from an offensive perspective. So I just hopefully that we open up our eyes a little bit and look to pull from within and do some things that's going to make us successful and get those guys ready to whoever's going to be the next guy. Because everywhere we've gone, and yourself, you got the Jackson kid ready who's down at Valdosta State. All the knowledge and things that he has, he got them from you. And then, we had Bruce was on my staff, and which that's what we were trying to get them to do. The main thing is just to get them there to understand the facts and get them groomed, because and I know, we're talking about, 18, 19-year-old guys, and you got to have some wisdom. You got to be psychologists. You got to be mama. You got to be dad. You got to be all what it takes in order for them to be and do the things that we need them to do.
One of the questions on our show, and I'm going to let these guys have it. One of the questions on our show was, why does black colleges don't beat PWIs? And so I'll lay that question to you. What's your thought on that?
Well, I've had the opportunity to beat them up a couple times myself, but anyway, I think
very few of us have.
Very few of us have. No, I think you guys are the only guys to ever do that. You guys beat up a whole bunch of folks over there. But on the flip side of it, I think it's just a cultural. Technically, we just got to be sound and do all the little things in order for us to be successful. We got to coach the game. We can't play the game. And a lot of times we go into it thinking that we have a whole another plan that we're just trying to get through it and get paid. Hey, where I come from, man, everybody we play, we're trying to win it. We're going to try to play for 60 straight minutes. But I think right now we just got to do a better job evaluating our talent. Do a better job making certain that the right guys are on the field and all the little things to get them to understand that it's a 60-minute game no matter what.
Coach Spears, I want to step in here for a second. I got a question for you, but before I ask the question, I want everybody that's watching this to take a moment to like this stream. Also, I would like you to share it with somebody. Share this good content. We invited Coach Spears on here. Championship coach as an assistant, coached at Grambling, and also coached at his alma mater, Alcorn. We want to broaden the conversation, and we also want to encourage the callers to call in. And I'll have the call-in number scrolling at the bottom here shortly. Also, I want to let everybody know that we are on the off-script channel. But if you have a moment, could you please click the link that I just shared on the off-script channel and come over and give me a like and also a follow as well. And I certainly appreciate it. You know how this YouTube stuff works. We become more relevant as people like and share and post and want to encourage you guys to continue to make comments as we continue the conversation about SWAC football. But I want to go ahead and ask my question to Coach Spears. Coach Spears, what is when you were coaching in the SWAC, right? I don't know who your AD was, right? But do you think it is? I know at one point there were ADs throughout the SWAC and HBCU football who were former coaches, right? That's not the trajectory anymore. They kind of take administrators now and put those guys in those athletic director positions. What's your take on what kind of person or what kind of experience makes the best AD for an HBCU university?
I think traditionally, period, and not necessarily just for an HBCU. First of all, you got to understand our culture. That's number one. Secondly, he has to be a finance type of guy, because one of the things that we get away from is the fact that we think that those guys are statisticians. They keeping track of what's going on within the school. But no, their job is to be fundraisers in order to provide each auxiliary with everything that they need in order to be successful. So we're looking for guys not only to have experience in understanding what we do at a high level, but also can bring some financial benefits to the university and have great vision. One of the things now, I think we're stifled with our vision. We just have guys that come in and just, I don't know what we do, to be perfectly honest with you. And I'm gonna be kind of straight about it. I think that in the evaluation process, these guys have to understand the whole scope of what we're looking for, whether it's TV contracts, how the facilities look, whether the things that we're talking about based on who we play, how we play. You know, some of those games is not even needed. We shouldn't even play those games simply because of the fact that it is not conducive to what we do. I'm gonna give you an example. Why should Grambling play Louisiana Tech when we're recruiting the same kids? You know, it's ungrambling like, and we didn't. So, but yes, I think that we need to continue to fuel our schools to do the little things that we need to do where we can compete at a higher level. Look at the blueprint up in North Dakota. Every guy that's on North Dakota's staff, and they're not very, they're not great players, but they got a bunch of good players. But all their coaches are from their culture. So all them guys basically went to North Dakota State, the ones that won the championship over and over and over. So all I'm saying is pull and draw from the folks that really has passion about our schools. Stop bringing guys in that don't understand the passion of our school, because, man, let me tell you, those places are the greatest places in the world. We have such pageantry and the things that goes on, and it's such a great family reunion every year between all the great institutions that we have. So therefore, hey, think of our school. I just want us to be the best Grambling, the best Southern that we can be. We don't have to pattern ourselves about anybody. Just do what we do at a high level, whether it's financially, whether it's educationally, whether it's making the right deal in order for us to participate. Those are the things that the AD really has to think about. He's not a bean counter. He ain't counting tickets. He got folks that work for them. The way we operate now is like, hey, the AD is responsible for all this stuff. And the staff members that they bring in, the staff members have to be astute about their job in order to be the very best.
Yeah. Coach, I want you to answer this question. One of our people said he coached prime time didn't beat. He said Coach Prime didn't beat seasoned coaches, so Coach McNair or Coach Simmons wasn't a seasoned coach. I just wanted to add to that.
Say it again.
It was you had to play great coaches every week. The caller was saying that Prime beat McNair and Simmons.
And also Maynard, for that matter.
Yes, and Coach Maynard. I guess he's saying that those three were seasoned coaches. What about the other? What is it now? 9 coaches? 9 other coaches in the league?
It would be 8. It would be 8 coaches.
What's your
beating each other is one thing. The pudding is in the pie when you look at how they operate. You look at our structure. You look at how they operate, how they prepare their team. All those things really dictate season. Season becomes individuals that have been around our game, understand the culture, and had a older guy that have kind of taught them the rope. Yes, Coach McNair has been around for quite some time. Cornell Maynard has been around for quite some time. But in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, it doesn't matter. Back in the day, every guy was outstanding. Every guy was an outstanding leader. So you didn't know who was going to win the game. If you weren't prepared, you was going to get embarrassed. And certainly, we've taken away some of that camaraderie that we used to have amongst each other. And we were very close, all of us. Even though we had to compete, we were all really, really good friends. We all worked very, very hard to do the little things. And that's what we are missing from this group. We got a disjoint from really what's going on. I don't want to be like everybody. I want to be like, and the reason why I was in the suit, because my idol rode the seat, Eddie Robinson, Tom Landry. Vince Lombardi. That's why I did what I did, because that's what I emulate, and that's what the professionalism that they presented to me during my tenure. So all we were trying to do is basically make sure that these young people understand the significance of getting ready for corporate America, because someday the air is definitely going out of the football. And I can tell you the same thing. Johnny Cole did the same thing, because I had an opportunity to work for him. And certainly how you look, how you carry yourself, how you speak, all that played a major part. All our guys went to speech classes. We're not getting on the air. And you hear these kids from all these other places now calling ladies, be interviewing, hey man, yes man. No, we taught them how to be true professionals and how to handle themselves. And that comes from the old guys. And that's what we kind of emulate. We just want to be back there again.
Now you,
I'm sorry. Coach Spears, first of all, I want to appreciate you being on the show. I do remember that Alcorn 79 team. I'm from Jackson. I grew up watching those Alcorn teams. As a matter of fact, you guys kind of stopped Grambling, because Grambling was on the run in those 70s, and you guys won that championship, kind of stopped that run right before Jackson State started their run. So Coach Cass, I'm big fan of his. But I wanted to ask you, we're talking about coaches and we're talking about things, but somebody said in the chat things have changed. Where do you see now what we need? I know you're saying, but we've got a lot of guys that are coaching at other schools at lower levels and things like that. We've heard the name Sean Gibbs, Chinsbury just came up, South Carolina State. Teddy Keaton's doing a great job at CRU. Are we looking, because I think what I've seen is a lot of ADs, to your point, do not know the depth of the coaching talent because they weren't around. So it's not to say that I'm 54 years old. So as some people say, I'm considered young, but some people I'm considered old. But I think what I've seen is somebody who's been around the SWAC for literally all my life. What I don't see is where you had, again, WC Gordon, where you had multiple coaches leaving his staff going to coach at these teams. You don't see the incubation where you have coaches where, you know what, he worked for him. We know that guy's going to be pretty good because he came from a championship staff because of the turnover. So within this new era, what do you think we need to do, based off of that?
We just need to go back and take a look at, if you bring one, teach one, and get them ready to go and have the attitude that your task is. And our task, Johnny and I have had this conversation many, many times. Our task is really to get the next guy ready to take our job. And we need to approach it from that perspective. And all those guys, when you saw WC Garden team that took over, beat us up during the when the Perry Harris and all them guys, most of them guys that was coaching with him was from Jackson State. Same thing with Marino Castle during that time. Coach Eddie Robinson, all his guys stayed with him for 50 years. Every one of them guys played for him. So all I'm saying is that understand our culture, whoever is at the helm, teach those guys and reach out to the old guys that, I'm saying old, but reach out to some folks that understand our culture and be serious about it. You got offensive analysts, you got all those things that they provide to you now that they can really take advantage of. And I can assure you, most of these guys that we're talking about want to be part of the program. We're not necessarily trying to get their jobs. The bottom line is that I love the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I love my school, and I think we got a bunch of other guys that are too. And we got guys at the next level that are doing really, really well. We got guys at Texas A&M that are coaching. We got guys at Houston. My quarterback is the offensive my quarterback is the offensive coordinator for the University of Houston. So we got guys that are doing some things at a high level. We just need people from an administration perspective to evaluate the pool and all the people that they have.
Hey, Coach, real quick, I want to make something. Can you name, because you said but I think for this show, we like to tell, what's the name of your quarterback that's coach over there at the University of Houston, and a couple of guys' names. Let's get those names so we can hear those names and people can start following these guys. Give us a couple of those names you just mentioned.
Kevin Barbe is at University of Houston as a quarterback. He wasn't the starter. He played behind Bruce, but he is the he is the guy. He is the offensive coordinator at Houston right now.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach.
Our quarterback is also the offensive coordinator. The Williams kid is one of my quarterbacks. He's also the quarterback at South Carolina State over there with Shannon Berry. So we got him around Brandon over there as the quarterback coach with Mickey Joseph. So we got some kids that are out there, and quite naturally, Bruce Eugene was the first guy to win a state championship in high school in New York State. Black guy in the city. So therefore, he's down in Atlanta now coaching. So we got some guys out there that are doing an outstanding job, and probably got 40 of them. You know, Jimmy Zachary, the from Opelousas won the state championship. The kid down at Edna Carr in New Orleans, Louisiana. So we got guys that are doing great things. We just got to get somebody else to understand that they need to nurture us, and it ain't about being selfish. It's not about being pride. It's about building the culture like it used to be at a high level.
Well, Coach, let me give you. I want to bring you in on this conversation right here. This is something that Coach Campbell, the bishop, had brought to my attention, and I want to share it with you guys. This is an excerpt from the SWAC coaches call yesterday, and this is. I just want to play a little bit of it, and I want you to kind of interpret what Coach Bubba McDowell is saying from Prairie View. So let me play it for you.
Cool.
Was self.
All right.
Here you go.
Thank you, Coach. Up to them.
Here you go. Let me get to it.
And that's what we didn't do. Again, we even though the score was where we thought it shouldn't have been. We shut them down in the second half, but again, we just couldn't do anything offensively to score in that second half, man. Get in the end zone. Once again, moving the ball, self-inflicted wounds. Two downs where we had to in position to get a first down, driving, and then we snap was bad twice. Again, and took us out of range to possibly get a first down. So, we again, it always come down to us. Self-inflicted wounds. Doing things that again we hadn't taught these young men. And Coach Ham said again, we got to be able to, we as coaches got to be able to put our best guys athletes in position to make plays, and I thought we didn't do that the second half.
All right, I'm going to got some background noise by somebody.
I'm sorry, that's on me. I apologize.
Okay. All right, Coach, what he said, and if you didn't hear it, I'll repeat what he said. The part that I wanted to, he says, we as coaches have to put the best guys in at the right times, and we didn't do that in the second half. So, kind of interpret that, Coach, and Coach Campbell, if you want to add anything to that, you can before Coach Spears answer.
Well, Coach, and I love people that have played, like you said, against talent. You played against talent. But the thing that concerned me about that, and Coach McDowell, I'm a big fan of his. He's a friend of the show. And I want, as an outsider who has not coached, he said, we're not putting our best 11 on the field. We're not doing that. What does that really mean? Is he not understanding that who he needs to start? Is it the assistant coaches that are really running and putting those players out? Because that just kind of concerned me when he said that we're not putting our best 11 out on the field.
So is that question to Melvin? Melvin.
Yeah, that concerns me also, because number one, football games are won by football players making football plays. And where I come from, we're going to play the best players. And it's our fiduciary responsibility. If the best players are not participating as the head coach, I'm going to make that decision myself. If, in fact, I think that a guy is better than the other guy, and I'm going to have evidence, I'm going to have credence, and I'm going to see him participate at a high level. And I'm certainly, the one thing about it that I think I took from Bear Bryant, I used to listen to him all the time. Bear Bryant said that he don't coach players, he coaches. That's a responsibility of the head coach to make certain that his coaches are evaluating those individuals accordingly. And we're looking for playmakers. We call them PTPs over there where I come from. And we had a whole bunch of them. And I can tell you, competing against Coach Cole and the other guys, and Coach Cole was really our biggest nemesis. You know, we're at some juncture, you know, we'll have a couple knockout, drag out fights with a couple other folks, but we had to come in there and really be prepared. Our kids had to play full speed. One of the things that concerns me, and I agree with you, Coach Campbell, one of the things that concerns me is our energy. Little things, getting to play in and out on the field, just being totally organized to the situation. So I think all that stuff there, instead of worrying about who's going to be the best player, I'm going to make sure the best player is going to be on the field. But I can tell you this, too.
Go ahead, Coach.
Oh, somebody's ringing. I can tell you this, too, that when it comes to making a call, when we start talking about making sure that these guys are seasoned, a lot of times that occur because the bottom line is winning. That's winning every single day. You know, I had it with Coach Cole a couple times too about things. If he thought I wasn't coaching him hard enough, he got on me a couple times about it. So it ain't something that's unusual that we do. I just think that the head coach has to take total responsibility, take it away from his kids, and make certain that they do the right thing and put the right players on the field in order to participate.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. We have a caller with the last 45936. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Coach Pep.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on, Coach Pep? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. The coaches don't recruit speed. That's exactly what the coach from Prairie View was talking about. Arkansas Pine Bluff had a receiver over there about 4'4" or 4'3". He was running past the defensive back Prairie View had with 4'7", 4'8". He was running past him. They don't recruit speed. And every offensive lineman in the SWAC is 5'5" and up. Every defensive lineman in the SWAC, 5'2" and up. You have to recruit speed, man. The Power Five, they're gonna be SWAC schools every time because they recruit speed. The 4'7" and 4'8" guys in the defensive back and safety, they ain't gonna work. You have to recruit tight ends with speed. No tight end in the SWAC runs a 4'9". You have to recruit a tight end run 4'6". The running back they run 4'7" and 4'6". You got to recruit running backs that run 4'4". Ain't no wide receiver gonna play at LSU beyond 4'4". You have to run 4'2", 4'3". And that's an advantage for you. If you in the SWAC and a receiver run 4'3", he gonna run past all the defensive backs in the SWAC. That's why the receiver for Arkansas Pine Bluff is leading the SWAC right now.
Hey, Coach Pep, I got a question for you. If your wide receiver run a 4'3" and your quarterback throw a 10-1, you know, the problem in the SWAC, as I see it, Coach Pep, is not guys getting open. It's the quarterbacks being able to hit the open guy, right? How do you recruit guys that can hit the open guy, though? I think that's the problem in the SWAC.
Rocky, you made a good point the other day. I was watching your show, and you made a good point because the school recruiter player, he comes in there running a 4'7", and he developed him up into a 4'3". and the other schools pick him up running a 4.3. I produced that kid to run a 4.3, and you should have a contract on that person because you've done put all the work in to make him good, and somebody else pick him up. You made a good point, Rocky, because I think that they should pay you a scholarship.
Hey, Mr. Pell, can you hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Pell, let me enlighten you on a couple of different things as well. That's one of the things that we talked about, making sure that we go through the evaluation process of the number of individuals that we bring in. It's so obvious that, Grambling has a tight end that's 6'5", number 28, that runs 4.4. So the question is why these guys are not using this guy. They got another one, number 18, who's 6'4", 250, who's probably a 4.55 guy. So, and the kid number 1 is just he's a low 4.4 guy. But I'm gonna tell you, I just ridiculed our guys about that kid number 11 at Pine Bluff because one of my guys coached him at Appaloosa High School and won the state championship. So my question to the coaches up there and Jimmy Jackery, who is my guy, how did this guy get out of Louisiana and go to Arkansas? Those guys chose not to bring that guy in. So I was livid about it. So I know exactly who you're talking about. And I can assure you that these guys that you're talking to on this panel, all of our kids could just flat out run because we got a number of guys that are playing in the National Football League that are just outstanding. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Speed kills. And football games are won by football players making football plays. I agree.
Hey, Coach Pep, I want to thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate.
Hey, Rocky.
Go ahead,
Rocky. I got one more thing to say.
All right, go ahead, Coach.
Melvin, when you was playing, they recruited you. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The recruiter came to your school and looked at you.
Yeah, they did.
Now they recruit off a huller. You don't know what player you get. You got to go there and visit the kid and find out if he fits your culture. All right.
But Pep also too.
Kid on huller.
I agree with you. But Pep, don't you agree to this as well, though? Everybody runs around talking about who's a 3-star, 2-star, 5-star. Hey, that don't mean a whole lot to me. And I'm going to do just what you just said. I'm going to see him up close and personal myself. Bruce Eugene is a prime example who's an All-American, had 140 touchdowns, was a no-star. Robert Brazil, who is as good as it gets, got a gold jacket, was a no-star. Doug Williams, who came out, who's one of the guys that set the stage for all our kids to be playing quarterback, was a 2-star. So it's all about our evaluation that Coach Cole and Coach Cameron and all of them talked about earlier. It's the people we bring to our school. No, don't just show up with them. We looking for them to be agile, hostile, and mobile as well.
Coach, back in from what I understand, Coach, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because I've heard some stories from an old timer. And I'm gonna use Eddie Robinson for example, because he's a legend. He would encourage 200-300 kids to walk on at Grambling State. He knew he was only gonna suit up 100, but he recruited them all to come on and walk on. Is a situation where you invite all the kids to your campus, whether they have a scholarship or not, to try out? Is that a option for a lot of programs?
In some programs, like you got Division II, that depends on enrollment. Division II and Division III and NAIA. Yeah, you got coaches that they want to bring 130 kids. Let me say this though, and I know we got some people watching us, and coach, played in the 70s, 80s, coach, but and they want to say, oh well, it's a different time. It's a different time. And my question to them is, I know when I played in the 80s, coached in the 90s, we had more players going to the NFL than it ain't even close anymore. So my question to them of saying, well, you guys are old guys. You know what I mean? Things have changed now. We're not even getting one player drafted in the SWAC or the MEAC
Coach,
or the
Coach,
SIC. So my question to them is, then what do they think the issue is? But go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, you just made a point, but Coach Spears said something. But let's talk about something that nobody talks about. Those coaches, for the lack of a better term, and honestly, many of them were actually teachers by trade also. So they knew how to teach the game, Coach. I saw guys at Grambling, Jackson State, Alcorn, Southern. I actually saw Michael Strahan as a freshman. I saw him develop as a senior to be dominant. Jimmy Smith is my boy. I saw Jimmy Smith at Jackson State from a freshman to turn into an NFL player. I saw Lewis Tillman turn in from a freshman to an NFL. I could go on and just name guys, Jackie Walker, guys like that. Leon Seals, where you saw these guys freshmen, like I say, couldn't stop anybody. But there was coaching that was done. And what was funny, and I talked about this, you saw a guy that would go from all conference to all American to draft. This was something that you saw. So what I think, Coach, honestly, we don't see is the teaching part of the game anymore, where you're getting guys that are freshmen. Now, I'm going to tell you something that does it, Trey Oliver, who that's his thing. Hey, I'm going to get a guy as a freshman, and you see the output of those guys as juniors and seniors. But unfortunately, I do not see that here in the SWAC, and that's what you could literally see a guy. And again, I'm repeating myself, but Coach, you remember this. You will see a guy as a freshman. You will see that guy as a junior. You're like, that's not the same guy.
That's correct.
I think the question is, where happened to development? Why don't the coaches understand the development side of it to turn them into pros?
Because we got people that hadn't played the game, that don't know the game, that's making decisions. Eddie Robinson said that back in the mid-90s.
40 years ago,
when we were traveling on the bus when we would go around and to each school and actually sell your program. Jacoby Jones is another one. I mean, and that's just in the 2000s. It's been a lot of kids, but we just don't put them in. And like you said, we just don't teach no more. Everything is microwave. We want to get the most talent. If somebody say he's a 5-star, we got to go get him. And he probably got 2 left legs. But that's the thing. We do not have the teaching no more because we do not have coaches who have been through the game. You could go to a school and coach know this. You could look at kids. The kid might have wide shoulders. He's real thin. But here's the problem with it, Coach. He got rotten teeth. So when he come to your school, you get his teeth fixed. And that's the kid that you see Gregory Jackson drafted in the 3rd round. But I was there when Mike Strahan walked up in our office. He was no star. He walked up there with his cousin, with his uncle, because his uncle had played at Texas Southern in the 70s. That's how we got it. Because they knew Coach Highsmith. It's about relationships. We don't have those relationships. Make championships, Coach.
Hey, Rock, just before we leave there, we had a guy play last night that was a no-star. That we begged guys to take a guy by the name of the big kid Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills. He stayed five minutes from my house. From Greensburg, Louisiana, Grambling, Southern, all of them, we begged them to take him. He's an all-pro guy playing left tackle, protected number 17 for the Buffalo Bills. He gets in a bunch of fights though, but he's doing well.
Let me say this here, Coach, and I want to ask y'all: is this a coincidence? Because we having something has happened in college football that hadn't happened in 60 years, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. 2 of our hold on, my bad, guys. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. 2 of our service academies are ranked in the top 25 for the first time in 60 years in the NIL era. As coaches, how do you explain this? In the NIL era, how now does two service academies end up being ranked in the top 25?
I'll say this, Coach, and I've told you guys that. Yeah, I'll take a program over talent anytime. A program is going to win. Talent might get you there, but it ain't going to get you over the hump.
And one of the other factors is too with this new Porter deal.
You muted, Coach. We can't hear you, Coach. Coach is going. We can't hear him.
Our kids now turning that way simply because of the fact that a lot of the universities are really not giving those kids scholarship, and it's a waste of their time to go to a junior college if you'd have made 30 or 31 on the ACT, SAT. So they go to the Air Force or Army where they can participate in the high level. And also what you have noticed, the demographics have changed tremendously in the Air Force Academy, because Jay Robison's son, who played quarterback at A&M, he plays wide receiver for Air Force. For that factor alone, they wouldn't give him a scholarship at A&M, but he was good enough to go to Air Force. Now all of a sudden he's starting. So I think we have to take a long look at the Porter. But the Porter is a microwave, like Coach Cole called it. But I think the team like Coach Oliver with North Carolina A&T, he bring his kid guys in and he develop them. One of the issues we had with Coach Fred McNair is that we don't make it to the championship game, and he got 31 seniors. Come on. If you got that many seniors on your ball club, that means you're a seasoned ball club. And we expect them to participate at a different level. So I agree with it. I'll take a program any day than these guys bringing guys in and out. And what you're going to have that happens that in the Power 5 schools, the ones that can pay the most money, going to have the best players. But watch their longevity, because it's going to hit a rut. It's just a matter of time before they won't be able to get all the guys that they need in there.
Hey, Coach Spears, I know we done had you on for an hour, Coach, and we appreciate you coming on and talking ball with us. You're always welcome. But before we let you go, I want to give Mr. Campbell and Coach Cole a chance to see if they have any party shots before we let you go.
Yeah, Coach Spears, I got one thing, because you are an Alcorn Brave. There's a big game going on Alcorn and Southern for Southern's homecoming that is really going to be determined. Now who's going to win that game, Coach?
Well, it's no question who's going to win that game. We have dominated Southern University for a lifetime. We didn't lose them when I was there. We haven't lost lately. So it's just a matter of time to rolling into Baton Rouge, and we'll have that purple stream coming in there, and we're gonna try to beat the brakes off of them.
Well, I'll be at the game, Coach. So we'll see.
I'll be looking for you. But I also want to say that I really appreciate you guys having me on. This is great conversation. Hopefully, we've helped some individuals understand the culture and the things that we do at a high level. We're not pointing fingers at anyone. All we're doing is trying to call out the situations where we can become better schools, better individuals, and get more players to come to our school. Because at the end of the day, the air is going to go out the ball. And certainly through preparation, as Coach Cole called it, we have to prepare our kids not only to be outstanding players, but outstanding citizens and do all the little things in order for them to compete in corporate America and be the best that we can be. I want to be the best Alcorn, the best Jackson, the best Southern. I don't care what the Power 5 do. Let's find out how to get money into ours to make sure we can compete at a high level. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach, man. You need to be on somebody's staff. I'm saying that. Some associate AD, you ain't trying to run a thing, but you're trying to take your knowledge. People pay money for that, to help them turn these programs around and get our conference. Not saying nothing against the coaches, but to get our conference and those kids that come to our school opportunities to go, not just go to the next level, but go there and make it and sustain those positions. Appreciate you, man. We'll be talking.
Coach, I got one question for all of you guys. Something that really does not make sense to me. You have guys that are basically seasoned in a lot of different ways. Coach, we have guys that have won championships, gone to a variety of different locations, and everywhere they've gone, they've been winners. Is it the fact that we don't want winners, or we just in the middle of the road thinking there's some other things that are going on? Because we've had a number of folks that go back, they don't do no research. Go back and look at the research. Coach Cole has been a winner everywhere he's been, even at Lane College. If you can win at Lane College, you can win. You can win anywhere in the world. I can assure you. I can assure you that. So all I'm saying to say, we did a great job at Texas Southern. We did a great job at Grambling. We turned around, went down to help Coach Reggie Barlow. He got to the championship game with Coach Cole. They haven't been since. And then the Alcorn State Braves, Coach. Hey, them kids, I brought that won 3 national championships. So all I'm saying is hopefully they can just do some research, man. And not only, by the way, Nick Saban turned me down 3 times of being an analyst as well. So I want them to know that it ain't all about us just trying to go to our school. The guy that has the Maryland job, we were supposed to go with him. So we are reaching out, looking at other avenues to go to, not only just in HBCU, but you know where my heart is, you know where my love is. So come hell or high water, I want to be at home.
Appreciate you, Coach.
All right,
thank you, guys.
All right, that was Coach Melvin Spears, former head coach at Grambling, former head coach at Alcorn State University, man, where he coached at his alumni, man. That's a great interview. It's good to see those guys come back and share that institutional knowledge that they have. It's almost like a history lesson, Coach Campbell. When we had these guys on, he got him on. We had Coach Hayes on. We've had these guys on, man. It's a history lesson for me, and I definitely, want to thank you, Coach.
I'm gonna get Doug Williams on for you.
Oh man,
let's get him. Come on, man.
I'm gonna get Doug showed up to tell you.
Not the legend himself.
The legend, Coach. The legend.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, Rocky, I've bought into some of your sayings and what Coach Spears said about hiring coaches, that's been championship. They don't want to win championship. What do you usually say in the SWAC? What don't matter in the SWAC when they
ain't serious about football.
And they don't look at resumes, Coach?
No. They look at resumes, but they don't look at wins and losses. They look at a few other things on the resume.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I'll let you do your honor since this was supposed to be 2 guys we bringing up for this huge week in the SWAC. Unfortunately, one of the other gentlemen who we had scheduled wasn't able to make it. But I'll let you take it from here, Coach Campbell.
First of all, I want to say something to my Jack State people. Unfortunately, and you know this, Ken Clark, my little Jack State brother, he is unable to come on tonight. As you know, he is dealing with something with his mother. She's in the hospital. So I want us as a SWAC family to send prayers to Ken and his mother and everything. I'll see Ken this weekend, but Ken really wanted to come on and he apologized. But like I said, mama's first. So Ken, we're saying prayers for you and everything. But with that being said, I am proud to bring on, and see, this is the great thing about it. When you leave FAMU, you get to get this title. Hey, FAMU legend now. 3 times. That boy got 3 degrees, man. This boy got more degrees than my mama's oven. FAMU legend. And now a proud graduate of Florida A&M University that's working very hard, that took time out of his work schedule to come on. Bishop Bonnet.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
What's going on, Mr. Bonnet?
Nah, just living life, blessed.
Well, Bishop, listen, man. I want to listen. We want to talk about the game. We brought you on the game because one thing I know you follow the team. I know you're still connected with the team. I know you watch SWAC football and HBCU football as a whole. But I tell you what, I do want really quickly to set up, because I think this is what's so important about going to our institutions and especially FAMU. Why don't you just tell people your quick journey and how you ended up getting 3 degrees from Florida A&M University, and how you are, being a successful person in the workforce. So just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got to FAMU. You talked about, the struggle that you had to go through, but also the endurance of getting your 3 degrees? I just want people to understand you're not just a football player.
Nah, so I end up I could have got my 3rd degree, but that was my last season in at FAMU. I was working to get my 3rd degree, but after that year, my scholarship was up, and I already had my 2 degrees, so I didn't quite get my 3rd one. I could still go back and get it, but that'll be for a later date. But my journey to FAMU, I was a walk-on. Didn't have any scholarships coming out of high school. I had 1 or 2. I had one at Wagner, and another one at uh, Tusculum College. It was a D2. Um, I actually got offered and had a visit there like a week before signing day, and I don't know. I just felt rushed about it, and I never was a guy to just take the first opportunity that come to me. So I prayed about it, and I feel like God told me in that morning, like the day of signing day, to not sign. So I ended up not signing. Make a long story short, I ended up getting into FAMU on my academic side because I had a guidance counselor who knew somebody at FAMU, admins. Took a day out of school, drove up to FAMU, got enrolled, and then it just so happened like a week or 2 later, they had like, this was when Alex Woods was there. They had a satellite camp at my high school. I ended up going and balling out, and I already told them I was enrolled. So you can kind of call me a preferred walk on or whatever, but it was a kind of a weird situation. But hey, I ended up at FAM. I'm one of the few guys who I know who was a walk-on, traveled 2 weeks after being on the team. So the season started, I got on the team like 3 weeks into the season. I traveled to Alabama when we played Tuskegee at South Alabama. We ended up losing that game. I was so mad I didn't get in because how we lose to Tuskegee. But yeah, so that's when we was bad. It was bad. So I ended up actually getting in like a week or 2 later. We played South Carolina State. I ended up fumbling, and coach never put me back in. So I kind of blew my red shirt that year. Um, Time went on, got in my sophomore year, got in again, fumbled. He wanted to put me back in, but I was playing all special teams, so I kind of find a way to get on the field. And then this is when Alex Woods last year wanted to go before he quit. It was the year before he quit. I had a meeting with him, and he just told me straight up that I was like too small to play running back for him. So I kind of was in high school. I played DB actually. I played cornerback in high school, but running back was always just like a natural thing to me. I played running back growing up as a kid. Running back was just a natural thing that came to me. I always liked cornerback because it was more of a challenge. I really had to work to make myself better at cornerback, but running back, I don't know. I always had vision, and it just was natural with it. So then Willie Simmons came. Willie Simmons came, and everything changed, man. Everything changed. Everything changed. One of my first talk with Simmons was, "Hey, would you let me play running back?" Because the last coach said I was too small, and he told me that one of his previous running backs, I don't know, I don't want to mispronounced his name. I think it was Keon Tucker or something like that. Little small guy from Prairie View had #1. He told me I reminded him of him. So yeah, and everything just took off from there. And my last year was my best year. It was COVID season. I actually took advantage of that. Just really locked in. Just really locked in on myself and took that season really like very seriously. Um, on paper, they always had me at like 165, 170, but soaking wet, I always played at like 155, 150, like always until my senior year. That's when I said I really locked in. I was like, all the things I was doing at 155, 150, I said, bro, if I gain 10 more pounds, I know I will be unstoppable and I will be able to finish a whole season without getting hurt and not be able to sit out. So that was one of my main goals, and everything happened. I didn't quite get 1,000 yards, but hey, I still had a great season. Went to the playoffs. So yeah, and now we're here. I ended up after I graduated. Well, after my senior year in high school, I kind of was making it like a hard decision. I kind of was depressed. Kind of didn't want to know if I wanted to go to the NFL. Kind of didn't know if I wanted to work. Um, everybody kept telling me I had chances. I could have went here. I knew Canada was not in the picture. I was not going to Canada. I wasn't going to Canada. I wasn't going overseas. I'm not the kind of guy that want to play. No disrespect to any guys who do, but semi-pro, it was the big leagues or nothing. And I know I'm smart enough to, get a good paying job, which I was. So was going through that. Was going through some hard times with that, and by God's blessing, my senior year at FAM at the Orange Blossom Classic, one of the board members on the board for the OBC is Ernie Dubose. He was my former employer. I actually met him at the OBC like little convention. He actually got up and spoke. I told him this too. Like, I don't remember nothing he said out of that whole speech, but he said, I have a construction company. And once he said that, my ears just turned up. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta talk to this guy. Like, I gotta know him. So afterwards, I got his number. Just always stayed in contact with him during the season. And after the season ended, he ended up texting me like, "Hey, man, like you had a great season. I've been following you all year, man. Just let me know your decision." I was like, "Hey, I do want to try for the NFL, but I do kind of want to have a backup plan." He like, "Hey, man, look, if you come down to Tampa, I get you a hotel for the weekend. Now you feel me? You can just shadow guys around." Around my job, around the different jobs, and just see how you like it. And did that, and I was excited. Like, it was just something different about being on the job site, being being a head man on the job site, and it is seeing something being built from nothing to something. That is amazing to me. It's just amazing to me. So, to make a long story short, was in Tampa, and then was there for like a year, and kind of got homesick, like real homesick. Got kind of wanted to get real close to my daughter, real close to my daughter. So another reason why I didn't go to the, I'm gonna bring it all together. So I wanted to get real close to my daughter. Ended up moving back to Jacksonville, and got a job with a company called Stellar Group, a real great company, I got on as a travel assistant superintendent. Stayed in Jacksonville, was in Jacksonville for like a year and a half. And they told me, hey, I've been told them I wanted to travel, but now they just called me like, when they called me last Friday, told me, hey, I need you in Baltimore. And that's where I'm at now. I'm in Baltimore.
All right. Well, now, listen. So now we got that out the way. Now it's time to talk about football. Now, Bishop, you have played in this game, and you know how big this game has been. You came in with the era, as they say, the prime era, and you played these tough games. And now, once again, FAMU and Jackson State is basically the game of the year. What are your keys for FAMU in your mind to win this game on Saturday?
We can't allow Jackson State to come out fast like they usually do. If we can go into the halftime down by 3, down by 7, up by 3, up by 7, if we can keep it close by halftime, we're gonna win the game. If the game's not close by halftime, Jackson State too good of a team to try to play catch up all game. They got a very good quarterback, very good running back. I like their receivers. To me personally, I don't like speaking on other like players, but just me personally, I feel like if we had to attack somebody, it had to be the DBs. I just feel like the guys a little bit undersized. I feel like Jackson State DBs kind of undersized. Doesn't take away from their ability, but I just feel like they are kind of undersized compared to the way the SWAC is transitioning with getting all these Power 5 and P4 guys, a group of 5 guys. Just the size difference is kind of changing a lot from when I was there.
Well, Bishop, let me ask you this question: being a running back,
yeah,
and understanding how important the running game is, for offenses to establish themselves. knowing that if you can run on a team at will, you usually can beat a team. How concerned are you as a state member of Rattler Nation of how it seems that Coach Cozy and the current edition of the Rattlers defense hasn't showed any ability to consistently stop the run throughout an entire football game?
So I did see a big problem with that in the first couple games. What I had a big problem with was coach was on the defensive side. He was sticking with that 5-man box. Like he was gun ho on sticking with 5-man in the box. I feel like he's moving more towards putting 6-man in the box. Really honing in on stopping the run. I feel like he's loading the box more, and I do feel like we do be missing a lot of like gaps, a lot of gap assignments that we missing. So I just feel like I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be because I feel like in this game the best we can do is slow them down. You're not gonna stop them from running. Like you're not gonna stop this. You're not gonna stop a Jackson State team from running. You just have to slow them down. They have too many good running backs. Somebody gonna want to get off, and somebody is. Somebody's gonna want to like get off. At big games, somebody's gonna want to make something shake. Somebody's gonna rise to the occasion. All we have to do is slow them down. Don't let them make big plays. If you do make a big run, limit it to one. You can't be making 2-3 big runs the whole game. Like with Alabama State, he made that outside of that big run they had. Deco Wilson, like Cozy said, like I like Deco in a one-on-one situation. He just lost that one. He just lost that one-on-one situation. But after that big run, you really can't say that Alabama State really broke any long runs. They kept the chains moving, but you're not gonna beat us like that. You're gonna have to throw the ball and score some points. You ain't gonna beat us by just running the ball all game. We gonna go too fast. Offense too dynamic.
Well, let me also let me ask you this before we go to Coach Cole. Florida, it seemed like coming into the season that the way Coach Cozy talked is that he was going to lean heavy on the run game to kind of control the line of scrimmage and impose their will on opponents. Seems up to this point, FAMU hadn't been able to do that, and they've been had to, depend on Richardson to move the ball for them. Do you have any concerns about their ability to run the football at this point?
Nope. Nope, not at all. Because when I was so Simmons' first year, we didn't have a good run game. We went 6-5. His next year, besides my senior year and besides 2 years at FAMU, we never really had a dominant run game. FAMU never really had a dominant run game, and we've found ways to win. Like we've always, in the last 5 seasons, what we won between HBCU games. I mean, lost. We've Jackson State. So I don't really see it being a problem. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It ain't been broken yet. Like shoot. Even like last year, we didn't have the best of run games. But okay, what you can say is how efficient is that run game when you need to run the ball? Can you run the ball on 3rd and 3? Can you get the ball on first down on goal line situations? Can you get the ball into the end zone? Because I feel like if I was the coach, I'd be the kind of coach that go with the kind of team that we have. Like what best suits us. Because my senior year, I felt like we was never a run heavy team, but up until the second or third game, Coach Simmons really realized that okay, the strength will be in his backfield, so let's take advantage of that. So you just got to be the kind of coach or kind of OC to know, okay, what can my run game do? Can my run game be efficient on 3rd on third downs, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. All right, at least if we can do that, and I know we can throw the air out the ball, then I feel like we should be okay.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, how you doing? This is Coach Cole.
What's good, Coachy?
You all right?
Yes, sir.
Look, you played up under Coach Wood.
Yeah.
And I know him. He comes from a big PWI background. You know, he came up during the time I came up. Coach Simmons, of course, had a taste of Black College, Clemson. He was at Middle Tennessee State before he really got his start. And so Black College nurtured him as a coach, gave him his opportunities. Why was it a difference? I guess that's what I should ask you, of coaching under Wood than up underneath Coach Simmons, who didn't have the background that he had.
All right, so under Coach Woods, when we was in a MEAC, we never lost. We never won games. We lost a lot of games, but we were always good. We was always like you can see, like we had the team, like we were good. We always had talent. We never lack of talent. Always had. I remember Brandon, Be Smooth, the receiver we had. He had number 7 my freshman year. But I feel like the biggest difference was, even when I first walked on my freshman year, it was a big confrontation. Coach Woods made a statement to the media, basically saying like, my players ain't nothing, like. And I feel like that kind of had a big. I mean, we had a whole like players meeting about that. Like, I was a walk on my freshman year. We had like a whole big players meeting about that. Like, nah, man, that junk green what he said, dog. Like, man, like it was real crazy, and it just, I don't think it was innovative enough. There's a lot of old coaches, Coach Alex Wood, and then keep forgetting the OC name. Good people, but yeah. And then when Coach Simmons came, he a Florida boy. You feel me? So he feel me. You can tell by the way he talked. He had that swag. So, and he was young, and he let us be. You feel me? Like he let us be. As long as you, not to say he just let us BS around, but if you come in, do your job, you feel me? He gonna let you be. He ain't gonna trip on you too hard.
Yeah. What I'm trying to get to for our fans about, there's a difference between coaching guys in the PWI level as well as coaching the guys at a black level. And Coach Alex Woods, I'm gonna say it again, he come from a wealth of experience. But it's a difference when you come to the HBCU. The kids' understanding is a lot different. What, if you can put your finger on, what was the difference between Coach Simmons' style and Coach Alex Wood's style?
Coach Simmons, like, Coach Simmons just let it all hang out. Like, he out there, and he connects with players like that. Cause a lot of us, where we come from, we out there, like we from that. So it's kind of like we connect in that kind of way, and he's still trying to guide us to be great young man and great football players at the same time. I just feel like Coach Woods, he probably ain't connected us in that way. Like, you feel me? Like, he ain't connected us in that way. Like, he just didn't. Like, he just
Now,
didn't.
Bishop, I've been all over America, and you said something I've heard a number of times. That term, Florida boy, right? I actually lived in Florida when I was a young man, and so I'm very familiar with the culture, especially in the Panhandle region, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is different than South Florida.
And
But y'all both are Florida boys, right?
I mean, the Panhandle different from the Northeast Florida. Northeast Florida different from Central Florida. Central Florida different from South Florida. Like, everybody got their own little vibe and culture. Everybody got their
But what is it? What I was getting to was, what aspect that it played to y'all's success that Coach Simmons was a Florida boy? Like, did that factor into the success in any way?
I mean, yeah, because he, like I said, he understood us. Like, man, Coach Simmons was a cool dude, man. One of the funnest times, man. One of the funnest times we had this tradition where, okay, on the road games, and after the road games, we win, we take our shirts off on the bus. And it's funny to see Coach Simmons take his shirt off on the bus. And you feel me? He turned with us, like, you feel me? I mean, I forgot, man. We were playing. We taking our shirt. We turned on the bus. We playing a song, and it's a I think it's like a Fantasia or Mary J. Blige song. We all just vibing. And next thing you know, you see Coach Simmons come back there singing it. We like, oh man, oh my God. You feel me? We just turned like Coach Simmons, like you just one of them, man. Coach Simmons one of them for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man,
I get it. I get it. And being a guy from Texas, it matters to people from Texas, you know.
For sure.
And I know that both Coach Campbell and Coach Cole have spent, even though they're not Texans, they both have spent a lot of time in Texas. And it matters that being a Texan matters. And so it's good to hear that. You know, I don't take it no kind of way that when y'all say he's a Florida boy, it means something to y'all. I understand it. I understand what that means. And it's not a air of superiority or whatever, but it's a connection that you have with him that that you can't replicate or front about. It's just
because you can like he our coach, but you can talk to coach, like you can talk to him, you can chit chat with him in your language. Just like if you're from Texas, like certain stuff you could say, they'll understand because y'all like that's just the way y'all talk. Like it's just the way y'all talk. Like when we come around, we say "jit," you feel me? Tight. You feel me? This our language. That's how we talk. Like that's how we talk.
Bishop, I want to ask you a question. Talking about the game, you played in big games. What do you think on both sides with a player at your level, a playmaker? What are the coaches in this type of game? What are they telling you? What is your mindset going into the game? What is your focus when you're going into a game? And like I said, game like FAMU versus Jack State, where all the money is on the line, as you know. What's the mindset going into a game like this?
I mean, you got to get somebody hyped for a game like this. I don't even know what you on my team for. You feel me? Yeah, you should. Like, games like this, the players, like, the best teams are player-led teams. You feel me? The coach don't got to say too much. The players already know, hey, this is one of them games now. Like, let's go, let's lock in. Not to say, like, every week you should be locked in and all that good stuff, but it's just one of them games where, okay, hey, this it. Like this hit, man. Let's go. And then you don't do nothing different. Like you still be the same guy you've been practicing a whole. You still have fun during practice. You still do all the things you've been doing, but you just know, hey, like okay now. Because I've been playing in big games since I was in high school. Like that's also too a thing. Like some guys just used to that moment and is used to being in big time situations. Some guys, like even in high school, I was one of them guys where coach like put the moment on me. Like I'm big enough for it. Coach like so. And then my senior year, I had number one, and it brought me back to my high school year where I had number one. And so I'm like, man, when you got that one on you, bro, you gotta carry yourself different. You gotta really be. They gotta know why you got number one. They gotta know that. Like, this can't be like, okay, yeah, he just got one. Like, nah, that's that boy right there. Like, y'all boys watch out. So it's just a mindset, and I don't really feel like the coaches should be telling y'all too much other than, hey, this is another game. This game right here is going to determine who go to the SWAC championship, who in the SWAC East, SWAC West. So I feel like that's all. It shouldn't be too much hoorah, too much crazy stuff. Hey, this is another game, man. Let's do it.
Hey, Bishop, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because Bishop, I know you all did, because you played Jack State in Miami, and this is the first time that FAMU in this new era is going to Jackson. The vet is a different animal. You're going to have 40,000 people in there. Jack State is circle this game. And
I mean, they'll be them paid.
Hey, man, listen, man. They're gonna pay. They got car. I bought my tickets. Let's say that. So they got my money.
See, but the thing is though, in that situation, if you're a dog, if you're a baller, you want that. I want them to put 60,000 in there because I'm gonna shut you up, because I'm gonna snap. I'm gonna do my thing. You just gotta have that mindset. You just gotta be that.
Now, did you say you was gonna snap?
Yeah, snap. I'm gonna go crazy. Like I'm gonna go crazy. Like
I got you. You evidently you was a very, very exciting player.
I mean,
big time.
Big time.
Big time. Listen,
1,900 yards is a lot of yards.
Bishop literally won the game against, and he knows that he will help be modest. When we play Alabama A&M, that boy put that team on his back and won that game because them boys was on us. And next thing I know, I'm watching the game on the phone, and all I see is Bishop running 50, 40, 60 yards, scoring the game winner. So he's always had the ability to rise in big games and things like that. So, yeah, that's what I was wondering, because that's one of the things that, I was wondering if players like yourself, because this game has been talked about. A lot of people, it's on ESPN, has flexed it up. You know what I mean? It's going to be TV. A lot of people are going to watch the game. And what do players do? Like you say, big-time players playing big-time games. So what is the feeling? And I'm glad that you answered that. I think Jack State is going to have the same feeling. They got big-time players. They want to win this game. We got big-time players. We want to win this game. So I really wanted to just to get the feel as a player, because I think a lot of times we as fans don't know. You know what I mean? I think you watch a lot of these shows. You hear a lot of people calling. They have no clue what it really takes to play at the level that you played at.
Yeah, but everybody different though. Everybody different, because I'm the kind of guy, like, I ain't gonna say, like, how do I want to put it, because I'm always locked in, but I ain't really going I ain't burning too much energy. Like before games, I'm usually talking, laughing. I'll probably listen to some R&B, but probably like 2 hours before the game, that's when it's kind of like a whole different switch clicking, like a whole different. Cause I don't want to burn. Cause I don't know. I just always been that kind of person, relaxed, and I feel like I do well under pressure. That's just my personality. I feel like I do better under pressure than, I don't know. That is my personality. I like being under pressure. I really like being under pressure.
Well, Bishop,
Bishop.
Yeah, go ahead, Rocky.
No, I just want to thank you, man, for coming on, man. We certainly appreciate it and giving us that FAMU perspective. We get it every week though, because even though he's not a Florida boy, you wouldn't know it by his swag and his gear.
Hey, and I want to tell the world, man, for anybody who, you feel me, just going through something in life where they don't know the decision they want to make, man, trust your gut and trust God, man, because I ain't gonna lie, it was a lot of times where I really questioned myself about not going to the NFL, or at least not trying to go to the NFL, and like coming on this trip, man, like being able to be in this position, like God is really rest assured everything that I did was the right decision. You feel me? So I just wanted to let the world know that, and anybody, feel me, football is not your life. You feel me? Like you're an athlete, but you're not a football player. Like you're more than that. You're a great young man. You feel me? So that's all. I just want to let y'all know.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
There he is, Florida A&M's own Bishop Bonnet. Yes, sir. Thank you, Bishop. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Man, listen, I'm just going to say this, man. And again, I know I'm a FAMU, but I'm going to keep saying, Coach Cole,
really?
Hey, man, listen, Coach Cole understands this. When you got players that matriculate through your program and they're successful, you feel a pride, because there's so many stereotypes out there about athletes, black athletes in general. Let's just start there, no matter what school you go to. But to see that young man to come on and, like you say, to endure, man, that's why I'm just proud to be an HBCU alumnus. And all of our schools have those stories from players. Every school has a Bishop Bonnet. And, that's why HBCUs are so important. And that's why our athletics are so important. And that's why this game that we're getting ready to talk about is so important. So, Rocky, we ready to move on now.
Hey, we finna get to it, baby. All right. These are the results. We got, it wasn't number 4 SWAC games, and 2 of them were big SWAC games. So we'll handle that at the end of these 2 slides. But any of these results kind of surprise you? whether it be Bethune-Cookman, Alabama A&M, or Mississippi Valley and Alabama State. I mean, I didn't think they would win this big. I thought both teams would win convincingly, but these were dog walkings right here. Did you guys expect that?
I didn't expect Tennessee State to beat Eastern Illinois that bad. So my hat go off to Coach George up there. Maybe they are moving the program in the right direction. And what is this, year 4 for him?
Yeah.
But
Eastern Illinois only won one game, Coach. So
yeah. I got you.
What about Alabama State? We got to talk about this briefly, and we talked about it a little bit. Where is the Bethune-Cookman program now? Well, we got about 15, 16. No. Probably 17, 18 games in. Where's the Bethune-Cookman program getting beat by 12 to 56 by Midland, Florida, Alabama A&M program?
Yeah, he's not doing very well. They are 0-6, I want to say, this year, and they lost to a Division II school at home. They awfully struggling, and this is definitely not what you want in your second year. In your second year, of course, you got to build off your first year. You should show some progress. I ain't saying you should at least be somewhere in the middle if you got your program going in the right direction. Because year 3, you should be, if not competing for the championship, you should be a spoiler up in there. So the program has turned to a U pivoted, and it's going back down, and Bethune-Cookman's going to have to do something over there, or it's not going to get any better.
Well, okay. Now the gentleman up here put they were disrupted by a hurricane, but on the weeks they didn't have a hurricane. Well, what happened then? I'll just ask. Did they have a hurricane when Clark Atlanta beat them? Was it a hurricane that weekend?
Well, let me share him a story. Back in Houston and Texas Southern, they had a hurricane in Houston, and we had flew off to Sacramento to play Shaw, which we beat, and we came back to Texas, and we had to stay in Dallas and play Pine Bluff, which we beat. So we everybody goes through something, but you got to stay focused. That's why they call you head coach. You got to prepare your team, and that's why they call you head coach. You just don't you just can't make up excuses why you're not getting it done. And the other thing is, what happened to the last 5? Okay, that was just one game. What happened to the first 5 that you lost? So that's the deal. That's why they call you head coach and pay you the big money.
Now, I jumped, like I told you guys last night. Scotty and I jumped on a Twitter Space or X Spaces and talked to some people from Bethune-Cookman alumni, and they was like, I forget the song, "Baby, Give Me One More Chance." That's what they were singing for Coach Woody. "Baby, give me one more chance." I didn't understand why he needed one more chance, but they were really, they really believe in Coach Woody and think he's the right guy for the job. But even though there's no evidence,
I'm trying to remember back over 20 years. I don't mean to talk over you.
No, you good.
I'm trying to go back 20 years where the coach started off with an okay first season. An okay first season when you take over a program, that's 3-8. Okay. Then you come back to next year and it's sitting at 0-7 and win 2 games. I'm looking back to see who have done that, who have been that coach. Usually a coach come in, and if he's a winner, he's gonna show you that he's gonna win up the road. He'll make steps. He'll never go backwards. Does that make sense, Bishop?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll never go backwards. But if you started 3-8, you say, okay, man, we rough. We gotta get our players in. Then you turn around and go 0-7. Well, what you think year 3 gonna be? And year 4 gonna be? Usually it just be as worse. So I get it. I don't like to see anybody lose their job, but we're put in those seats to win football games and develop young people.
All right. I think again, Alabama State did what they do to Valley. So, And then I thought Morgan would give Mary Mack a hard time, and maybe Morgan, though they've had some really competitive games this year, they just hadn't been able to win those close games for some
I
reason.
talked with the defensive coordinator at Morgan State, and he just said Cole is just one of those years, man, that they can't get over the hump. You know, you go and look, he said, we playing everybody tough. But he said it's just something about, damn, we find a way to lose. So Coach Sewell up at Morgan State, I talked to him today. I also talked to Coach Robinson over at Alabama State. He just felt that Valley just don't have athletes. You know, they just don't have athletes.
All right,
Rocky,
we got
Howard.
Howard.
Real quick on the. I got to talk about the Bethune thing real quick because the thing, a lot of us had Bethune as our dark horse. They talked about who they brought in through the portal. They had a quarterback, and to see, and you got to understand something. They literally, outside the game that Jack State lost, they played Jack State the hardest. In that's when people say, oh, we can kind of see the talent, especially on that defensive line. And to see the regression on both offense and defense to me, is the concerning thing that has just really just got me mind blown on what's going on with that program. And what do they do next? Because you're sitting here, you haven't won a game, you lost to Clark Atlanta. You got Jackson State coming in for your homecoming. These boys, no matter what happens with the FAMU game, are going to go down there and let it rip. It's just a really dangerous thing right now for that Bethune-Cookman program. And I think, once again, this is where, to Coach Cole's point, is when we're hiring a guy, what are we looking for and what do they need to do to be successful? Because the thing about, and unfortunately, and I feel sorry for Coach Woody, because if and when they keep losing these games, all you're going to hear is, see, we should have hired Ed Reed. We should have hired Ed Reed. We should have hired Ed Reed. And that's just, I think this going to be, as they say, a storm cloud hanging over Daytona is going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad. So I just wanted to just put that out there.
Oh, yeah. I guess this guy's saying Clark Atlanta would be a force in the SWAC. No. I've seen them up close and personal. I've also seen Florida A&M up close and personal. They would not. They would not be a force in the SWAC.
He said Clark Atlanta?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying, who would be a force in the SWAC, which is Clark Atlanta. They would not. Hold on. They would not. Hey, caller, at 7804, you're live on HBCU Coaches Corner.
That was the Rocket Scotty.
Hey, what's up, baby? What's going on?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
I'm good.
I want to stay on this Bethune-Cookman thing because it really bothers me. I'm sorry. And I think, and this is why, and I think Coach Cole won't agree with me, but this is why I'm such a fan of celebrity coaches, is because, okay, you let Ed Reed walk, and for whatever pride or whatever, however you feel about the situation is how you feel. But to me, it's like, you're irrelevant with Raymond Woody right now. Like like you're a laughing stock as a program. If Ed Reed had you 2-4, people would still, and they could see the talent, or you would still have some type of publicity, good or bad, with Ed Reed at the helm. And I just think that, to me, it's like, if I'm gonna go with a guy, and if I'm gonna go with a guy like an Ed Reed or Ray Lewis or whomever decides to coach, who are true celebrity NFL guys, they're always going to, my personal opinion, unless, like, you know, you have a Willie Simmons situation or a Fred McNair situation, like coaching pedigree championships. You know what I'm saying? Like a Coach Cole, if you like, hey, that's the direction we want to go in. But if you're just talking about a first time guy like Raymond Woody, and he's been an assistant everywhere he's gone, over Ed Reed, that is bananas to me. That's just pure bananas, because I'm taking a risk on you just like I'm taking a risk on Ed, but Ed at least gonna give me some, for that first year, we selling all the merchandise. We making all the bankroll, season tickets sold out. Like, Even if you go down in flames, it's gonna be a nice flame because you done paid. At least that first year gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm making all the money. They didn't sell the Florida Classic. I don't give a damn if they walk in the Florida Classic 1 in 10. If Ed Reed walks into the Florida Classic, it just went from 50,000 to 70,000. That is my issue, and I just think like in the terms of big business and big bank take little bank, like you got to bite the bullet on that Ed Reed situation and say, you know what, we're gonna move through just like a marriage. Like, hey, we fight, make up, we're gonna move through this and keep it going. So that's my issue with the whole. Because Raymond Woody wasn't a good hire. I don't care what nobody says, whatever. What you do?
Yeah.
But
can I say something to you, Scotty? Can I say something? Stay on.
Yeah, I got you, Coach.
Was Ed Reed a good hire before or after he called his boss a sissy? Was he a good hire before he told the media, man, fuck y'all, excuse my French, and mother, and which Ed Reed did? Because when it first came up, I'm with you, Scotty. But when the thing came out that he just, Coach, it just, what part of that you gonna say? And do you know Bethune-Cookman is a Christian school, ain't it, Coach?
Yeah, they do have that backing. They're private, but yeah, they do have church backing.
So Scott, I got you. I don't know much about Ed Reed besides he played. Matter of fact, I sat with him. You know, fortunately, I sat with him at Jacoby Jones' funeral. But which Ed Reed we talking about here? Because definitely, Scotty, come on, man. Come on, Scott.
Now, I ain't hear the man call nobody a sissy. I heard.
Come on, Coach. Okay. All right. Hold on, Scotty. Hold on now. He said that the AD was having some man fix his pants and all that kind of stuff. Then what
I ain't hear that part. I ain't gonna hold you. Listen, I'm only gonna talk about what I heard, and what I heard was MFers. Like I heard the MFers and these MFers and these MFers. They don't give a damn. They ain't want to clean my office. You know, this, that, and that. I heard all that.
Hey, Scotty, this is my deal with it. He still ain't lied. You can say
at some point, you know, the truth got to stand on its own, right? So I mean, hey, listen. Okay. If this is my thing, and this go back to Coach Cole. Okay, Coach Cole, I rock with you on that, right? Because I wouldn't want nobody working to try to work for me, call me a sissy. I get you on that. My thing is, Raymond Woody, you might as well just done an interim situation until you went and got a guy that you wanted again. You get what I'm saying? Like,
man, I get it's like they had two other ends of the opposite. Hired a terrible guy, had a good guy. And I'm a big guy on giving people second chances. I was hoping that he would go get him. I said, man, look, I was emotional. I made some mistakes. I've said some things because I was passionate about being here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I would have been. He stayed on it, Coach, and then he doubled down on saying what the president said to him and what they promised him. And Coach, he lost me on that one, man. And I'm a big second. Scotty, you know I'm a big second down. Hell, I'm looking for my second chance. So I'm with that.
I'll tell you, like, what do I look like, you know, condemning somebody? I get you.
Yes.
I get you. My thing is that, again, then you got to make this is what, to me, I think it's, and Zoe says it all the time, HBCUs are more reactionary than proactive, right? Once the situation with Aerie went down, then you gotta be in full PR mode. You gotta be in full PR mode. And then second, you either have to name an interim for that year or you go get a champion, because you gotta make people forget why you got Ed Reed. That's the whole, like, at the end of the day, the Ed Reed cloud, like Mr. Campbell said, is always going to be hovering around you. But if you go get you a championship coach or somebody that you feel like they got some type of pedigree, I don't care what nobody says. Raymond Woody has no pedigree other than following Willie Taggart around for pretty much his whole career.
That's true. That is in the coaching. You know, that's the coach.
That's Scotty. You were on that X Spaces with me, right? And
yeah.
And And it was some what I consider really intelligent guys on there, really intelligent football guys. Like these guys were successful coaches in high school and this, that, and the other. But when it came to evaluating what should happen at Bethune-Cookman, these guys was acting like when the guys show up at Bethune-Cookman, they supposed to win regardless of who the coach is. Like, where does that happen?
Because they have Bethune. Because they don't have Bethune pride. They don't believe in Bethune. And at the core of it, I kept telling them, it starts with the coach. If the coach, everybody knows who's played football, the coach sets the tone for the culture, and the players implement the culture. Players don't start a culture. That's not how that works.
Look,
that's not how it works.
We need to get
if Coach Cole comes in to, let's say he goes to Alabama State, and he's like, hey, we're going to play hard, we're going to play fast, we're going to play strong. And you look at film and players are seeing other players slack off and not running. Those are the times where players are saying, hey, man, you know our standard here. That ain't our standard. That is what that looks like. But it starts with the coach telling the standard. There is no standard at Bethune-Cookman. You cannot tell me that, because I had a coach tell me, if you see it on film, it's either being coached or being allowed. Which one is it?
Right. Well, let me say this. I wish we patched up some coaches' backgrounds, haven't we, Rocky, on this show? So maybe we might need to bring Ed Reed on the show, but we gotta have a pre-talk with him before we come on.
Hey man, I can get Ed on the show. That's too phone. Listen, but I'm gonna say something. Let me play the other side, right? Here's my thing, and this goes as to Ed Reed's a perfect example of how you don't conduct yourself when you're trying to get a job. See, my problem is, again, Ed Reed is a professional. Ed Reed is a grown man. And this is where social media constantly gets your ass in trouble. Because if he wasn't filming that, and he had just said that to his boy, you know how you're frustrated and you go on a job and say, man, I can't believe this some BS they got me doing. But you don't put that on Instagram where everybody in the world can see, along with your boss, and you're trashing the place that you actually work. See, that's what I'm talking about, the level of immaturity that I think, and this is what I'm telling you, which goes back to things I've seen other people that go to work and get on social media. If I'm a president or AD, and Scotty, Ed Reed, the resources going, but here's my concern. If I can't control this dude before I even got him a contract, what is he going to be when he comes in? So Ed Reed has to own some of that. And I know he apologized and things like that. But this goes to show that sometimes you're not ready for the moment too, because Ed had never been a coach. He didn't know the protocols and things like that. So if he had been on Coach Cole's staff, he would say, hey, Coach, I'm getting ready to go to Bethune. You know what Coach Cole would have told him? Like he told many coaches, you better know where the bathroom is at. You better know where the trash can's at. You better know this. You better know that. That's what happens with mentoring. There was no mentoring. Because if he would have had a Coach Cole, he had worked under 2 or 3 years as a defensive back coach or a DB coach, he would say, man, I can't believe this shit they got me. Excuse my language. Got this stuff they got me in. And Coach Cole said, I've been there. I had to sleep on the floor. But this what comes with the HBCU. You will be okay. And that didn't happen.
Yeah. See, he spoke to Prime, and guys, but it's only one damn Prime Deion Sanders on this earth. Let's get that straight. Prime is up there with the Muhammad Ali's to me. That's the kind of athlete he is. He's his own billboard. He's just special, Coach. That's just different. And I think Ed got the wrong idea. Ed went in there as it's a deal instead of it's a contract. Meaning, okay, I'm bringing my toolbox, you bring your toolbox, and we all gonna bring no.
Ed still ain't lied though.
Well, Rocky, hold on. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this. This is a true story. I had a friend of mine, and I'm just gonna be honest. I had a friend of mine, and he was dating this girl, and they had a baby, right? And the baby was ugly. I mean, the baby was ugly, okay? And my friend, who's flying all the way from New York to go to Jackson State, my best friend, we were there, and I almost started laughing. But I can't tell that man that his baby's ugly. It's something, even though it might be true, you don't say it in proper audiences. And that's the thing about it. So while you might be telling the truth, people say stuff about me, but I give them credit. They don't say it in my face. They say it in their little group chats because it's a respect thing. So my thing is, again, while you might tell the truth don't always have to be said in the public spirit, especially when you don't put it. See, the problem is you can tell me the truth. It's how you present me the truth. Me and Scotty talk about this all the time, and he knows this. Hey, I say, hey, man, you said something great, but sometimes the way you present it, people are going to miss the truth that you're trying to say. So
I like what Johnny Thornton said. He said a lie is a lie, but it's how the lie is reported matters. I like that, Johnny. I like that.
Hey guys, I appreciate the call though. Y'all keep killing it.
All right, man. For sure.
Hey, Scotty, man, let's get Ed Reed on the show, man.
Hey man, listen, you know the guys from University. I'm gonna text Derek Cruder right now, and I'm gonna have him call Ed Reed. Everybody that knows Miami knows Derek Cruder. That's my boy. Or Jason Gale. I'll text and see if we get Ed on. I'll text him right now.
I got a couple contacts.
Okay.
You know.
Oh yeah, what do you do? Yeah.
Hey, I smoked a cigar in Vegas once with Ed Reed, but that's about it. All I can do for you. If it ain't about cigars, man, I don't think Ed has even got nothing to say.
But hey, is Scotty still on?
No, he dropped.
Oh, okay.
So don't be filming your truth like Rocky, because you'll be fired the next day.
No. My point is, he's depicted as a bad guy. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. When I was on the call with the guys, the Twitter Spaces, these guys, when Scotty mentioned Ed Reed, these guys lost their mind. Like he is the Joker and the Penguin and all those other supervillains that are on Marvel. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's how they reacted, you know? And I'm like, dude was just really trying to make things better, and he just didn't know how to go about doing it within the structure that he was working in. And he was frustrated. He's not what he was doing. He's not a bad guy.
Coach.
Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
He coaching a damn game, you know, and it's fourth and you know, 4 or 5, and you up 6. But you know, and the guy run the play and don't get it. What you think he gonna do? Hell, he might have to punch the hell out of the kid when he comes to the sideline.
Oh man, come on now y'all stretching it. Hey, but hey, it ain't like giving the game away by trying to punt the ball when you up by a field goal and your opponent's feet is on the goal line. That's better than trying to punt in that situation, understanding that points is not your enemy at this point. Time is, and you had a punter run around and get tackled in the end zone, and then kick the ball deep. You run the timeout, TSU wins the game. But again, in my opinion, I'd rather cuss a little bit than completely, you know, botch a victory. What happened
I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say one thing. You say that until them old alums, like they did, that actually cut checks, say this is not what Bethune-Cookman is about. Now, you can say all that you want, but I'm telling you, that had a lot to do with it. Because to Coach Cole, this school has a certain level of alums. They are very conservative. That is not something how they move. And again, you know, and I think a lot of times we look from the outside, you know, inside, but it's the same. Every school has this. And you got to respect the culture of the school. So that's my thing. You got to respect the culture of the school. And again, I'm going to say this again. If Ed had, again, he did something that a 20-year-old would do. If he, like I said, you can have all the frustration, you just shouldn't have filmed it. You just shouldn't.
Hey, we got a caller, 5962. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Coach Jackie Cooper, New Orleans, Louisiana. What's up, Coach Cole?
That's my man, JC. What's up, baby?
How you doing, man?
Man, let me tell you about this guy, man. I came into New Orleans for Jacoby Jones' funeral, man, and this guy stopped his day, and he had Coach Jacoby too, so he was gonna go. But man, this guy, Jackie Cooper, Coach Cooper, he showed me a great time of New Orleans, man. And man, I appreciate you calling the show and you know, being a supporter.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, I appreciate you. I say next time, man, you come down, and I know y'all two guys, I met y'all, but I tell you, you come down. I need you to come down for the state championship in New Orleans. I'm at Booker T. Washington High School, inner city school, 3A, coaching running backs and special team coordinator. But Louisiana does a state championship in Louisiana Superdome second week in December. And Coach Cole, I'll make sure that my wife cooks some gumbo for you, okay?
Oh man, Coach. Hey, man, I appreciate it, Coach, man. And Coach Cooper also is a college coach as well. He's, and this is what I'm talking about, guys, about great guys out there. He's also coached other places. It's just that, but he's ready for prime time, Coach. But he just got to find it.
Well, I tell you what, man. The older I get, and being in this profession, I was at UAPB coaching the corners 3 years ago under Doc Gamble. Let me tell you something. HBC football, man, is totally different. I went to University of Cincinnati and played corner, but when I got into coach at Lane with Jacoby Jones, that was my first time. I'm from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? So I know visit Grambling, visit Southern. Had to go to JUCO way and ended up trying to get it to give me a Division I scholarship. I think right now, even when I try to teach these young men at the high school where I'm at, is the whole atmosphere is totally different. You know what I'm saying? The Power Fives already got their guy for 25 and 26. You know what I'm saying? So to recruit a kid from inner city school, if you ain't that Power Five or power, the ranking and stuff, them kids are getting no walk-on scholarship. Their parents can't afford that. But I was calling in. I heard the call before about Ed Reed. Ed Reed from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? I know how social media is. But let me tell you something. Out at UAPB, there's things that as a HBCU coach that you go through. And one thing I feel about my former head coach, Doc Gamble, you know what I'm saying? Be ready for a ready. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have all the things that we have to have, but there are certain things that you do not put out on social media that you keep in-house. And especially when you don't have a contract and you're still trying to figure this stuff out, especially the head coach. And like y'all said, if he'd have had more experience, and I love Ed Reed, love the stuff he do at former Destrehan High School. He give back to the community and stuff like that. But when you look at when you're being given that opportunity and people say, I want to be a head coach. But when you sit in that seat and you look at all the stuff that you got to go through, it's a whole different ballgame when you're assistant coach.
Hey, Coach.
Assistant coaches, you only go through certain things. But when you become that head coach, man, you're just not dealing with the intermediate stuff. You're dealing with alumni. You're dealing with and then you're dealing with the community that you got to fight against. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Cole, you've been there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You've been there even at Lane. When I'm telling you his story, I was at Lane. I got hired, and my head coach called me. He's like, "Okay, your main job is control Jacoby Jones." I'm like, "Who's this guy?" From New Orleans. I'm like, "Who's Jacoby Jones?" I mean, babysit him. You know what I'm saying? Man, the best player I ever coached in my life is a true walk-on freshman transfer.
No stars, Coach. Walk-on.
Huh?
I said Jacoby was no stars. He was a walk-on.
He was a walk-on. But you know what, though? Let me tell you something. I learned this even by being around older coaches. You could tell the guy that have talent and going to make it. But me and Jacoby one day, we wanted to fight one day because all he wanted to do was go, "Coach, throw me the go ball. I want to go ball." So I'm like, okay. So we played Morehouse. And when Morehouse had Denzel Washington's son on the other side. Coach, they were going pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? But you do have them type of kids. But the thing about it for me, when I went to the HBCU, I had to adjust my coaching style. Even now I'm back in high school right now, I got to adjust my coaching style. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed to, you got guys paying players NIL deals and stuff like that. It's a whole different ball game. And a lot of kids are getting overlooked. You know, Louisiana got the most Division I colleges in the country. They do not have a Division II school here. The only Division II school they got is a Delgado Community College. They don't have football. They have basketball and baseball. If they would get football, it would be a whole different ball game. It's a junior college, but they don't. So it's no Division II. It's 1AA and Power 5, and maybe an NEI school up North Louisiana. But you know, I like the way y'all guys on board and you giving up. But here's the thing about it though, in the HBCU, in the SWAC, you got to win in November. UAPB is 1-1. Okay, they go to Grambling this week. If they beat Grambling and beat Southern, then it turn the whole thing is all totally different right now. And people understand that. You know, you got to win in November. And that's why it's always close with the HBCU colleges come November. If you win in November, it's close, very close. And then you got the Bayou Classic with Southern and Grambling. Grambling right now is 0-2 in the SWAC.
Well, Coach, man, I appreciate you calling us in, man. And definitely, you know, we got a home guys down there in New Orleans. Man, we just called Coach Cooper. He'll take us where we need to go. I appreciate you, Coach, calling. And man, let's keep in touch.
I appreciate you, dog. Talk to y'all later.
All right. Appreciate you.
All right, Coach. We're going to get through these. All right. And on this second slide, let me see what we got. You got Howard and Sacred Heart. Howard pulled out the victory.
That's a big win. That's a big win for Howard. You know, and you know, out there on the East Coast in that MEAC area, man, you know, and they do a good job, the MEAC, and playing those same old schools. You know, but I think, you know, what was some of the things that Melvin said about playing guys in your same area, you know, and if you ain't getting nothing out of it, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I've said that all the time. You know, I'm not playing no school at my level in my state, and I know I'm not ready and we can't compete at their level. All it does is hurt your recruiting. I think more so over in the MEAC, it's a little different over there. You know, it's almost 22 schools in North Carolina that get play Division I and 1AA and Division II football. They got 22 schools in one state. And of course the state is small.
Let me ask you this here, Coach. I'm not familiar with it. Maybe you know too, Mr. Campbell. Like some of those conferences over out east, especially in the Northeast, they don't even have scholarships. Like they don't have scholarship football teams. So these teams that the MEAC is playing and beating up some of them, is it possible that some of these teams don't have scholarships? I'm not sure.
Yeah, some of them are division.
Like the Colonial Conference. I don't think they have scholarships, if I'm not mistaken.
Some of those schools, you know, it's a certain thing of athletic scholarship or another part of a scholarship that they have. So, you know, there's a lot of
aid scholarship.
Yeah.
Granted aid.
Well, you know, and that's from an income base. I'm just saying from you know, big alumni, you know, foundation board and academic scholarships as well. So they have a lot of those type of scholarships at those kind of schools.
Okay. And the reason why I was bringing them up, they're PWIs for sure, but do they compete at the level of Tarleton State, Stephen F. Austin?
They do. They do. They got some FCS schools that don't have scholarships. And those guys don't have a number on their scholarships. Meaning if I'm an FCS school and I'm a scholarship school, I got 63. Some of those schools that don't have that, they got unlimited. They can put unlimited kids on scholarship.
Now, unless they just got them this year, I don't think the Ivy League grants athletic scholarships.
But when I'm saying scholarship, I'm not saying athletic scholarships.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying, you know, they got the George Washington scholarship and the Pete Richardson scholarship, this scholarship. You see what I'm saying?
They got a way to provide grant and aid to their players. They're just not quote unquote athletic scholarships.
Exactly. Correctly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Vanderbilt actually does that with their baseball team.
Yeah.
They'll get guys in. That's why Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt is one of the schools have a lot of black players that play on their baseball team, because what they'll do is they'll find a scholarship to what coach is saying, that some rich alumni from a foundation, they'll give the guy Scott, and that's how they can pay for their tuition.
And the NCAA rule says they can have unlimited guys on scholarship. They get this guy 5,000. They get this guy 2,000. They get this guy. You see what I'm saying? Let's talk about Norfolk, Coach.
Oh yeah. Let me go back. So Norfolk led this game most of the game.
Well, my question to you is, did he get his yards rushing? Because that seems the only thing he cares about.
Actually, he got his yards
you
passing.
handle the stats. Handle the stats. Did he get
Here's the crazy thing. Can you believe Norfolk State, Vincent Berry went 16 of 31, 221 yards. When have we heard Norfolk even throwing for over 100 yards? He actually threw for 200.
That's a new quarterback too.
There you go. New quarterback, 221 yards. Kelvin King once again. And Xavier Evans got it done on the ground, 140 yards, 96 yards for King, 45 yards for Evans. But again, Sean Brown for Townsend, 306 yards.
He didn't get his 200 yards though, Coach. He didn't get his 200.
He got it passing. He got it 200 yards passing. Actually had a 100-yard receiver.
Well, one thing he can't say, he got his yards, his 200, and he's in the running game. It still don't equal up to a win. So,
Still does not.
And
they lose a close game to Townsend.
Yeah.
That's tough, Coach. That's tough.
Lynchburg put up a pretty good fight against NCCU.
Yeah.
They were able to hold them, keep them from getting 66 points, and they were able to get them to 63-0. So, and then Delaware State against Robert Morris. They got shut out.
See, like a school like Delaware State, Coach. And look, guy, I'm gonna sell my brother, and it's just no way that my brother that Coach, everywhere he's been, Coach Campbell, from high school to everywhere he's been, he's won. He's won the championship. He goes join Allen College. Allen College, Rocky. They were 1-7 with Teddy Keaton. He joins the staff coach. They turn around and got one of the best records in the school history. They come to Clark. Clark ain't won 6 games in 40 years. They've won 5 games 4 times in 40 years. And they sitting right now at 5-1-1. And you telling me a perennial losing Delaware State don't get him on the phone? A Mississippi Valley, a perennial loser, don't get him on the phone, Coach? But go ahead. But we don't look. We're gonna get some folks some jobs around here, Coach. You know.
Hey, look like we're gonna have some vacancies here soon. Hey, well, but this is the game we kind of went over when we played the bit from Coach McDowell. This was a very entertaining game. It introduced a player to me that I hadn't seen before, Malachi Higgins. He is a bona fide player for sure. Guys know that I root for Prairie View because my daughter is a senior over at Prairie View, and I was hoping they could pull it out and turn their season around. But that wouldn't be the case. They're 0-3 in the SWAC. Well, no, 1-3 in the SWAC. And so this was a pretty tough loss. What were you guys' impression of this loss?
It's very disappointing that Prairie View that they not, we all picked and thought that Prairie View would be the team of the West. They played some pretty good ball. They come off a championship run, and things supposed to get better. Bubba, which I think is a great guy in his third year, and he's already been to the championship. You know what I'm saying? And we know how he got there, but still, the fact that his program is rolling in the right direction, and for it to take a pivot, a U-turn, is just undescribable. But he's have said it in the last two interviews that they're playing the wrong kids. That's like putting a square in a peg to me and asking why. Well, it's a square, and it's a round circle. So it puzzles me. They got some problems and some issues over there that he's gonna have to straighten out and clean up to get them back on the right track.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cam.
Well, you called it entertaining. I called it frustrating. Because again, I'm gonna say this again. I'm a huge fan of Bubba McDowell, a number 25 man. That guy's all-time great. University of Miami Hurricane. Followed him when he got to the Houston Oilers. Always was a hard-nosed guy. You can tell that he's a no-nonsense guy. But it just, to me, again, when I hear the coach call, and I'm not gonna go because Coach Spears addressed it, and I think I'd rather for a coach to address it than somebody, a lay person like me. But again, when you've got a kid like Savage and Spiller. And again, just to kind of talk about this, Jalen Johnson went 25 for 37, 275 yards, and he threw it all over the yard. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
11.
7, 8, 9, 11 guys caught balls. But to me, that means nothing when Shamar Savage only has one catch. That means nothing when Spiller only has 3 catches. Because to me, I would rather give those other 5 guys no catches and have Savage and Spiller get 5 of those catches, because those might be touchdowns. Those might be explosive plays. And that's the thing that, again, I have just not understood about this Prairie View team. And again, when you see the talent, and again, hey, you know what the great thing about it? And I told Scotty this, the great thing about that game for Arkansas Pine Bluff, they had a national stage. And, as they say, this was a coming out party for Mikael Hagans. For him and Gibson, and everybody saw the talent of those 2 guys. I mean, Gibson was wearing people out. I think he was a SWAC player of the week, I believe.
Everybody got some. Everybody got some.
Everybody got some. You want to get a piece of, you get this too. And it was just great to see that, because we hear about people and players. And this is what's great about now with social media and things. Hagans has been able to be talked about. Gibson been able to be talked about. But the best thing about it, people were able to see it on national TV. And hey, man, Arkansas Pine Bluff again looks like a dangerous team. We know that I don't believe they're going to win the West, of course. But again, now they look like they're going to be a really tough out. So yeah, you better make sure that you play. And I tell you another thing too, which again we're going to talk about. I believe Grambling plays them next. And this is the first time ever in the history of my life where I heard that Grambling said that this is a big game for us playing UAPB. Yeah. That just lets you know how far Grambling has fallen, to the point where they say this is a big game against UAPB, and where UAPB has put themselves in a position to even be talked about like that.
Well, I tell you what, Gibson is a good size. It's 6'3", 205. And that's all on the other end, that's all I heard about is Savage. And the kid is catching 1, maybe 2 passes a game. They got to really, really go back and evaluate offensively what they are doing. And evidently they are not getting the ball to the playmakers.
Yep. This next game was a complete debacle, in my opinion. Again, Southern, to me, struggled the entire game. They struggled the entire game. And Texas Southern finally got in control of the game and just simply gave it away, Coach. That's my description of it. What do you guys have?
Well, I listened to the interview of the coach after the game, and I've been watching them, when I get an opportunity, and I just don't think they're explosive on offense. Again, this is his honeymoon year. He'll have an opportunity like everybody else to go out and recruit those type of players. Uh, uh, you know, I guess coach gonna have to find some energy somewhere. During his interview, it was kind of slow and sluggish, and probably just due to him being out of being so frustrated from the game. I know every coach don't like to lose, no game. So, he's going to have to perk up, get his team ready. I think they got an off week, and get ready to come back, man, and finish up the season strong because he's in the thick of that. He's got Grambling next week. He's off this week. He got Grambling next week. And I think he got Florida A&M after that, right?
Yep. End of the month.
So he's gonna have to pick those kids up and move them forward, and hopefully they show next week.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you a question because we kind of talked about this, and Coach Dishman talked about. They asked him why didn't he allow the punter run out the back of the end zone? Would have been a safety. They kicked off. He said there was never any doubt they wanted to punt it, and he felt that the punter should have been able to punt the ball. In those situations, and now in this new age, is it an analytics thing? Is it a coaching field thing? Is it confidence in your player? And what in your mind made him believe that was the best choice? And I'm not saying it's right or wrong because we knew how it turned out, but he made the choice. When you're in that situation, Coach, what are you looking at to say, you know what, I have an option here, which is go out the end zone or I can kick it. What do you do? Is you doing on field by the way the game is played, how your defense is playing? Is it you believe your kicker your punter can punt it and flip the field? What is that goes in that decision?
I'm gonna go back because stuff always happens off of something that happened before. First of all, when I'm there, what is my play calling? What is my thinking? I'm backed up. Southern has struggled all year moving the football. So my play calling, what is my play calling? My play calling gonna make me go back further because they had a series of plays. If it was a crusher, I would have ran 3 quarterback sneaks to get me up off the goal line. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case. Now I'm thinking on this series, things should be happening on the sideline of what we're gonna do where we are. Wonder if we do get backed up. Are we gonna kick it? Somebody should holler, hey coach, we down 3 or we down, we up 3. What we gonna do? Should we run out the end zone? Let's punt it. All those things should have been talked about, coach, before third down even came. And that's what I've been seeing a lot as I call these games. I see a lot of delay of games. People even come out of halftime, coach, and they always walk on the field and get a delay after halftime. You should already know. You should have written down what plays you're going to come back with. So that's what I'm seeing. Secondly, I got to be truthful with myself. Do I got a good punt team? Can we protect? You know what I'm saying? Have we been there? Is my snapper good? What's my timing on my snapper? Because you time snappers. I don't know if you knew that. You time them to see how much they can get the ball from snap to back. So all that plays a role in decision making. If I had any question about my blocking up front, because you know your players. You know what I mean? You got to know your players. If I had any problem with that, then I come to my next thing. Hey, look, we might need to run out. Southern struggles offensively. Let's just run out of back. Give them 2. Now the scores, I think the score has been 18-19. Let's punt it, put the game in our defensive hand and see how that is. But to put the game into your special teams hand, you have to know in your mind that maybe he felt good about his punting. But now here's the kicker. Once you make that decision, coach, you got to come back and you got to point the finger at yourself. I think you got to point your finger at yourself and not the kids.
Yeah, because one of the things, that, Coach Dishman said, he said, it was never any thought of, taking the safety. So again, as a layperson, this is why I looked at it. You've got three things that could happen bad and one thing happen good. The good thing is he punted, flipped the field. The bad thing is the punt gets blocked, the punt shanked, or you punt it short and the guy gets on in. So to me, that was a lot of factor. And we're talking about 30 seconds. So I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Let the guy, you know what? When you catch the ball, run around the end zone, you've seen it. Let's see if we can run off 10 seconds or so. Now we're down 20 seconds. Your defense has played amazing. I'm going to say, okay, listen, it's 20 seconds. We're going to kick the ball off. They're going to have to go 70 yards on U11 to win this game. And I know you're not going to let that happen. With 20 seconds, I don't believe Southern could have done that in 20 seconds. I don't believe I don't think most teams have the ability to go 70 yards or 20 seconds. We've seen it, but more likely than not. And the thing that happened, actually, I thought was going to, I really thought he was going to just punt it short and Southern was going to run and get it down to the 35-yard line or something. That's really what I thought. But again, he just totally missed it.
Well, to your point, Mr. Campbell, is simple. It's simple to me. Is that if you're up by 3 with 30 seconds left, the game is won if you don't fumble.
Well, I said they're up by 7. Remember, they're up by 7, not 3. They're up by 7. Be clear. They're up by 7.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you're up by 7. You take the
so you can't even lose with a field goal. Yeah, you should have took it out the back of
right. Well, and that's why I'm like, did he think, well, you know what? If they score, we lose. If they score, it's only tied. That's why it was interesting. And I guess the question never got asked, but he
that's
answered
malpractice.
the question.
That's malpractice.
So that's my thing. I'm like, you're down 5, and if they go 70 yards in 20 seconds,
you're gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, you're gonna lose anyway. I just think again. You know, when I heard it, but wait, one thing, Rocky, one thing, and I'm just setting this up. But what he did say, and I'm going to respect him because Coach Disman has always said this: the guys practice, they play. That's why Chase Wilson played. So he said he had confidence in his punter. So that I got to respect. He believed his punter can execute the play. So that's the reason why he punted the ball.
So, but this is my point. You put as a coach. I think you don't play not to lose, you play to win. And part of playing to win is you put the offense in the most difficult situation possible when you're up more than one score. You understand? When you're up at least 3. So even if you give them the safety, you kick it deep with what? So you run 10 seconds out. You run 5 seconds off on the punt. You know, most kicks last at least 6 seconds, right? You know, you're down there, you're in the teens. If they can go 70 yards in the teens, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, if he had a chance to do that over again. Now, of course, here's my point. You don't think that the guy's gonna totally miss the ball, but here, a block kick, you lose the game. You understand the things that could happen?
That's
that
why I
could
said
cost
the
you
3
the game.
things. It was 4 things that can happen. 3 of them were bad. That's exactly what my point of it is. That's why I was asking Coach Cole, how do you measure that?
You don't even risk a block kick. You don't risk a block kick in that situation when there's a scenario where you can kick the ball with no rush.
Well, let me say this, and we all watch football. Let's be honest. We don't see a lot of coaches. We've seen it, but majority, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, don't majority of coaches punt during that time? Because I don't see a lot of guys just run out the back of the end zone.
Well, it depends on the score. The score dictates what you do with the football.
And the time.
Here's the thing. If I run out of the end zone, I'm still up. If they block it and recover and score, and then now I'm down, I lose. So what choice do you make? What choice do you make? You run out of the end zone.
You run out of the end zone. It's simple. You run out of the end zone.
Not only that you can block it, like you said, it can shank or they can have a big return. So that's the choice that you got to make.
Hey guys, we got a caller 3454. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. This is Mr. Sargent. As always, I respect the fact that you have my brother Bishop as a part of this call, and I really enjoyed hearing from Bishop Bonnet. We oftentimes get to see our star athletes on the field, and then, we don't know what happens after unless there's some kind of tragedy. And then, of course, that's reported in the news. So I'm really excited, and I'm very thankful that you guys were able to contact him and have him on the show. I actually have 3 questions, but I'm going to ask the hardest question first since I have a couple of coaches there. Now, I'm going to let you know my background. I'm a soccer coach, so I have young people, and we play soccer. I'm a great football fan, but I just love that game of soccer. So I'm going to ask you guys, the coaches, this question. We'll use FAMU as an example since that's my alma mater. You have problems slowing down or stopping the run. So my question is, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, do you make changes in your personnel? Do you make changes in the scheme that you're using? Or do you make a change in the leadership, AKA the coach, to fix the problem or resolve it? And then how do you know, what are the clues or the signs to let you know which one you should alter first, second, or third, or do all 3 at the same time? That's my real hard question. I have some other questions if you have some time, but I wanted to hear you guys answer that one.
That's a Coach Cole question, right?
Oh, Coach Cole question.
We do essay questions at FAMU, so.
Right. Well, first and foremost, you always look at your personnel, and if you're pleased with your personnel, because your personnel make up your scheme. Most good coaches put their scheme according to what type of players. If we're talking about the front 7, because we're talking about the run game, it depends if I got long guys. If I got long guys and not beef, where back in the day, and because of the offenses have changed, the personnel has changed. And that's why defenses now are catching up with the spread, because they got more athletes on the field. So it used to be where they had them 300-pounders in there, 3 technique, a nose guard to get push up the middle, and then they had some bigger, faster guys on the edge. Nowadays these defensive linemen are even more shorter, but can run and more agile, meaning that now I'm either going to run a 4-man front or a 3-man front, or I'm always going to rush 4. I might be in a 3-man front, which a 3-man front is I'm going to cover the center and I'm going to cover the both tackles. And whether my technique, and when I'm talking about technique, is either I'm head up on a guy or I'm on his outside shoulder or inside shoulder or head up. Most of the time when you got a 50 front, you can be head up, or you can play what we call 4 eyes on the inside, and they trying to veer inside. So there's different schemes. If the defensive coordinator is not scheming and using a 50 front when a team is a run team and he's getting gashed, then now I have to start looking at the defensive coordinator. I look at him 2 ways. Okay. If he's in the right defense, if he understands, okay, he's got their tendencies, he needs to be in the right coverage. Hey, this team is a heavy pass team on first down, but he's sitting there in a run defense. And, he don't have the nickel package or the dime package. Then, as a head coach, you got to evaluate that and say, and that's the last resort, because when you choose a defensive coordinator, you choose, I tell these guys all the time that it's an egotistical business. And some guys will come in and know what they know and just put in what they know without looking at the personnel. I just went at the Central State Clark game, and I'm gonna switch it over to offense. They got a new offense coordinator that had been with the last coordinator who had been there 2 years, and they were averaging 33 one game, one season, 26 the next. Well, that coordinator moved on, and they gave the offensive coordinator to the next guy, right? Who has been in this successful offense. Well, he gets in there and he changes the terminology to what he knows. So now, what is that saying? That's saying that now he knows determination, which is one person, but now 36 or 40 other guys got to learn this new termination.
Yeah.
Wow.
Technology. I mean,
Wow.
terminology. Do you
Mhm.
know how much they score in a game?
Mhm.
In 7 games? 7 points a game.
Whoa.
And that's what I'm talking about. But the thing about it is the
Yeah.
head coach knows the new coordinator who had played for him back in the day. And, egotistical business, feelings get involved, and he's going to have to make some decisions after that. So,
Hey,
yes.
Hey, Mr. Sergeant, we getting through these slides, man. If we have some time at the end, we'll take a few more calls. And but we're gonna get through the rest of these slides, and then we'll open up for a few more calls.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
guys,
Sergeant.
for taking
Appreciate
my
it,
question.
brother. All right. This one right here was real hard to watch. The Prairie View game, the Prairie View UAPB game was entertaining and competitive. But this, I don't know what this was. This was really difficult for me to watch. There was a lot of penalties, a lot of miscues, a lot of just bad plays. Not only bad plays being made, bad plays being called. So, again, what did you guys think about the result? The game, I really wanted Grambling to win, but Alcorn pulled it out. Matter of fact, in this game, this is a game, in my opinion, both teams deserve to lose, but somebody got to win. So, go ahead, Coach.
I'm gonna leave that one alone, Coach. I'm gonna let y'all comment on that one. It's sad, and it just don't supposed to happen like that. But you guys go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, we can understand that. So I'm going to speak on it because everybody knows Grambling is one of my favorite schools, right, with Jack State and FAMU. This hurt me because, again, you have the big win versus Jackson State, and then what have you done afterwards? That's the thing. That is ungrambling-like. You lose to Prairie View. Alcorn hasn't won since 2006. You should have the same energy like you did with Jack State. The fans were not there for some reason. I was really shocked about that I did not see a packed house for Grambling, because now you see your team moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? Alcorn's coming in, they're picked to win the West. And then what happens is you don't execute. And, Coach Mickey Joseph talked about, now he's talking about, hey, he's going to be more involved in the offense. SWAC had Miles Crawley as preseason player of the year. He only went 16 20, 149 yards, and he just never seemed comfortable in this game at all. Not one time did you see him be comfortable. And this is a thing that was just really disappointing. But on the flip side, Alcorn said, hey, listen, we got our mojo. They've come in there. They had won 2 SWAC games. Look at who they beat, but they won. And then they had not won in the hole since 2006. And then, hey, you know what? You had Xavier Vaughn, who came through, finally gave them some passing yards, go 100 yards passing, 149 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Jacorian Sewell ran for 100 yards. Alcorn started to execute. You could start seeing them get comfortable, especially at the end of the game. Really, at the end, they, like I said, they just really kind of just hung in there and won it at the end. So, like I say, for me, Alcorn's playing a big game against Southern. But the question is, where does Grambling go? And again, I'm going to say this again. For the fact that Grambling is saying we got a big game against UAPB, there's a lot of soul searching down there in the hole.
Yeah, Coach, I thought, personally, I thought when they beat Jackson State, I thought Grambling was going places, even though it was due to
5 turnovers.
Jackson, 5 turnovers. I thought it was a good momentum. And then when they showed up in Prairie View and really, and I'm gonna say this, the team that I saw play the first half against Prairie View never came back out, has never come back out after halftime, guys. Like that team that led Prairie View by 10 points, I want to say 17-7 or something like that. I can't think of the actual something. But that team has never come back out of that tunnel at the Cotton Bowl for Grambling. And so since then, they've lost to, of course, Prairie View, and they've lost to UAPB. I mean,
Alcorn.
And the way UAPB played last week, they could lose again if they're not careful. So, yeah, Coach, if you want to say, if you don't got nothing else to say, we can move on.
No, it's not good football for Grambling. When you got the number one quarterback in the conference, you don't supposed to drop these. You drop Prairie View, you drop here. And I'll say that. I'm not gonna. I don't run from the truth. And you got to sit back and evaluate and see what you're doing. Are you trying to win? Are you calling the right players? Do you have the right personnel in? And those guys have worked together before. They were at Grambling up underneath Fobbs, so they should know each other. Defensively, the same thing on that side. And you got to be able to step in as a head coach and see what's going on. Mickey is my guy, but he's got a 2-year contract. He's got to get some things done. He's got to get some things done in a hurry. Of course, we hear all the rumor mills about what's going on, and maybe his head is not in it. Maybe he'd be going somewhere else. I don't know, but we can't continue to play games like this. You got to be able to get in there and take advantage of those opportunities. And
Coach, the frustrating thing is this season. Yeah, I know it's Coach Joseph's first season, but as me and Mr. Campbell have discussed a few times, this schedule is set up for Grambling to play in the SWAC championship. It really don't get no better than it is right now for Grambling. And I know it's his first year, but once you beat Jackson State and you in the West, you pretty much expected to vie for a SWAC championship. And unfortunately, it's been all downhill since then. All right, guys. We got a couple a few games this week. And then we'll get to our big games. We got a few of those as well. Bethune-Cookman event. This is the toilet bowl right here. Who's gonna win? What I want Mr. Campbell to go first on this one because I want to see if he gonna pick Bethune again.
This is the thing about it. You're sitting up here looking at this game. This game is at Mississippi Valley, 3 p.m. Nobody's going to watch it. We won't find out the score. They probably won't have any box scores or anything like that. So I'm going to go out there. Both teams are 0-6, 0-2 in the SWAC. But I'm going to, you know what? I'm just going down this hill, man. I'm just going to, listen, like I said, my daughter's down there at Bethune-Cookman. They treated her right. They treated her beautifully. I'm just going, and listen, I love Valley. I hate picking against my Mississippi schools. That's just not what I usually do. But I just got to down this hill, man, because, again, I see something in Bethune-Cookman. Maybe they're seeing themselves. So I'm going to go Bethune. I'm going to go Bethune by 7. I'm going to go Bethune by 7. I mean, this is maybe more heart than mind speaking, but I mean, I after what I saw Valley, Alabama State, I think because they have a quarterback. That's the thing about it. Bethune has a quarterback that couldn't play. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not great. He can make plays, and I just don't see why that offense can't get it moving. I mean, but hey, like I say, Bethune has played bad. Valley plays hard. Like I say, but I'm going down this hill. This is more of a heart pick than a mind pick. The rest of my picks will be from the mind, but this is more of a heart pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. So because somebody has to win this game, I'm gonna pick Mississippi Valley.
All right, we already don't spend enough time on this game.
Who you got, Coach? You gonna pick it?
Yeah, Bethune-Cookman.
All right. Now, this UAPB and Grambling game, like you said, Mr. Campbell, this sets up as a pretty big game for Grambling. And essentially, they're in the same situation Prairie View was in playing UAPB, wouldn't you say?
They are in the exact same situation. They are in the exact same situation.
Who is that?
Grambling,
Oh,
where coming in, but the thing about it, this game is at Grambling. So, you know, this is one of those. Now, this game right here is really, you know, they told me that this is homecoming down there at Grambling. Grambling on 2 in the SWAC. So again, I think Edwin Moore said it. This is one of the games that everybody from Grambling. Man, maybe that's why all the people from Grambling didn't come to the game against Alcorn, because they say, hey, we got homecoming next week, so we're coming to that game. So the game will be packed. I've been down there to Grambling's homecoming, outstanding homecoming, even though they got to go all the way to Monroe to party. But just being at the game is very amazing when I was down there at Grambling. So here's what I'm going to say. This is a very dangerous game because, to me, Grambling's weakness is what you have this, and that's passing the ball. And I think Grambling, again, what we've seen is that they can't produce points. And if this game is like this Alcorn game, I think UAPB, if Hagens makes a play or two, Gibson, I think, again, is going to go crazy. I think he has a lot of confidence. I believe they're going to give him the ball. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to have to I think I'm going to have to pick the upset. I think I'm going to have to go UAPB.
Hey, I'm on the other side again on this one. I got Grambling. They're at home. It's a must-win. Can UAPB be the Dragon Slayer 2 weeks in a way? The Giant Slayer 2 weeks in a row? At some point, they got to come down to reality. And I think it's this week. I think Grambling wins convincingly at home against UAPB. Now, we will wait till Coach get back. We can move on. I don't think we'll disagree on who will win against Fort Valley and South Carolina State.
Yeah, South Carolina State is wrong. And let me tell you what's funny, and we'll get into it when we talk about FAMU Jack State. But look, you know what looks really good? That South Carolina State for FAMU did, because you see what South Carolina State is doing, and they're proving that they're a really good team. They're proving that they're a really good team. And that matchup sets up, I think, in a couple of weeks against Central. And I think somebody told me that game's on a Thursday night, which is, wow, I hate that. But it will be a game that everybody will be able to get to watch, because I'm assuming it's got to be a national game. So, you know, yeah. But, hey, like I said, again, Fort Valley, Sean Gibbs, let's see what he can do.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be a good showtime for Sean Gibbs in Fort Valley. He's got to go in there and play South Carolina tough and don't get blown out.
Hey, Coach, we already I got Grambling. The Bishop has UAPB. Coach, you gonna break the tie. Who's gonna win that game down in the hole?
I'm gonna go with my friend. I'm gonna take it with my heart, Mickey Joseph. I got Grambling, but in a close one.
Okay.
You know, Rocky, I tell you, I'm you know what? I'm sorry. I believe in the G, man. You know what? I'm changing it, because I'm like Coach. I got to go Grambling. This is homecoming. It's the G. I believe that Grambling pride is going to come out. Look, give me Grambling.
He got a show, Coach.
All right. So here we go. I don't think we'll have much disagreement on this one. Hampton. Okay, we can go ahead and move on.
Yeah, they can't be the blacks or the whites, according to A&T Roy.
All right, Coach. It's a pretty short slate this week. A lot of teams have bye weeks. But this is one of the games I thought was a pretty big game, a matchup of HBCU Titans.
Man, Tennessee State is see, we didn't play all these teams when I was in OVC. You know what I mean? I think they got something going on where they only played so many games in the Big South and so many outside games. You know what I mean? Because they played Valley, Pine Bluff. You know, now they playing. And who else they played? Black School. I have to look at their schedule.
They play UAPB too.
UAPB.
But I want to answer that though. Tennessee State said they made a very conscious decision that their out of conference game they were going to play more HBCUs. Okay. So that was something that came from the athletic director, because the fan base, that's what they wanted.
Right.
And
again, no question.
Yeah, and I mean their tradition says that makes sense.
And I think they've already played 3 conference games though, Coach.
But Coach, but Tennessee State wasn't bringing no Mississippi Valley no Pine Bluff. No, they were playing the Florida A&Ms. You know what I'm saying? This one ain't a bad one though. This was not a bad one.
Well, you gotta understand that Jackson State was about a money thing. I just can tell you right now, Tennessee State and FAMU is definitely a money thing, because I know that has been an argument about the band and how much money that was going to be split, and et cetera, et cetera. So again, you get people that say, hey, we're going to play. So like I say, Jack State say, show me the money, so the FAMU, because those are their two biggest rivals, for they've always played. So, and those schools have leverage. So they're not just going to come up there to Nashville for nothing.
Hey, A&T still mad at us at their coach.
Yeah,
Your,
man, listen.
Your team sucks.
Yeah, listen. You know what though? But Roy's a good guy. You know what I mean? He's delusional, and it does feel bad when nobody cares about what you do, but you.
Yeah,
that hurts.
Yeah, I think this game. I think Tennessee, but this game right here, I think Tennessee State is on a roll, guys. I think I think they're on a roll. Howard had defeated Sacred Heart, but I'm gonna take Tennessee State on this one. Who you guys got?
I take Tennessee State.
Oh yeah, Tennessee State. I think Tennessee State. I like, I'm happy for Eddie George. I think like he talked about it. First Take was down there. They did a wonderful job. Eddie George, the campus, they did a wonderful job for their homecoming and everything. And you can see some of that Big Blue Nation kind of coming back there, Coach. Kind of feeling it a little bit. So that's what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. That's what you want to see, Coach. Get it back going.
All right. Now, this is the game that I'll be at. I'll be live.
Oh, you going to Baton Rouge?
Yeah, I'm going to Baton Rouge, Coach. Going to Baton Rouge.
They take care of you down there?
Yeah. I'm be broadcasting there with Scotty live on location, Coach.
Oh, Scotty got hooked up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he Scotty's a man of the people. He'll be with the people. We got a tailgate spot already set up, and we're going to be broadcasting right there. Coach, you're going to be in Bluefield. Coach, you're welcome, but you're going to be in Bluefield.
No, I'm going to be in Baltimore at Bowie State homecoming.
Oh, you're going to be in Baltimore, yeah. So, you got something to do.
Yeah.
All right, but
I'm thinking about going to Houston next week to see Texas Southern and Grambling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be in the area because it's going to be Prairie View homecoming, so I'll be in the area.
Oh, okay. Oh, Prairie View played the homecoming that weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think I should be able to get a media pass or something now that I'm on TV. From my alma mater, huh? Or do they got a call and say, hold on, Coach, we'll call you back?
We'll see.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, now this is an interesting game. Both of these teams are coming off what I would consider two of the horriblest, if that's a word, wins I've ever seen in college football. Horriblest.
Now you heard what Coach Spears said. Alcorn owns Southern University. They own them. And the record ain't been pretty, Coach. Alcorn been dominating this game. So I'm going to go with Alcorn, Coach. And Southern don't play well at home. They don't play well nowhere, really.
Well, Coach, if Southern wins this game, Coach,
they're in the driver's seat.
They're in the driver's seat, Coach. They got to just survive survive Florida A&M. Beat Pine Bluff.
If Alcorn win, I think they lock up the West, don't they?
No. They got some work to do. They
Coach.
close. They're gonna be close, guys.
I was going to say.
But you gotta understand, if they beat, so listen, they beat the Arkansas Pine Bluff. They have, who else they beat? They just beat Grambling.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Valley on the other side, right? They beat Valley on the other side.
Uh-huh.
So they still have, Alcorn still has
FAMU.
No, Alcorn doesn't play FAMU.
Oh, my bad.
No, they got who they got left? They got Southern. They
got
Alabama
right?
State. They got Alabama State.
Texas Southern.
They got Texas Southern, Alcorn. And Prairie View and Jackson State.
Yep.
They got some work to do. I knew they had some work to do.
Well, if they beat Southern, though, Coach.
I knew
they beat
that
Southern,
they
then they'll
had
be in good
plenty.
shape.
Southern is listen. Look
So,
what
I
they
wasn't
are.
gonna,
They
I
got
was now Southern on the other hand, because they don't have wins against Prairie View and Alcorn, and they'll have an opportunity to get a win against Grambling. If they win, I think they're more so in the driver's seat if Southern wins.
right.
They're gonna play FAMU, of course, and they're gonna lose, but they were gonna lose that game anyway. You know,
Coach, if you look at the score,
Mhm.
all right, Alcorn beat Southern, they up on them 2 games. So what's left on Alcorn? The 2 questions is Alabama State and Jackson State. All right, you don't think Southern is going now? What's Southern's leftovers? They got what? They got
Grambling.
Alabama A&M. They got Florida A&M. They gonna lose that game.
Yep.
All right. They got Grambling. That's a toss-up. And I guess Pine Bluff and Bethune-Cookman, they should beat them, right?
Coach, I know what I'm looking at. Coach, if they win this game,
they got a better chance than Alcorn.
Yeah. Like Coach, to win a championship, who would you rather play? Jackson State and Alabama State, or would you rather play Bethune-Cookman and Mississippi Valley?
No, they got A&M, Pine Bluff, and Grambling. Yeah. So you could almost count those 2 losses for Alcorn if they don't get it done.
Go ahead, Cam. I have to take Alcorn on this one, guys.
Yeah,
I can't in good conscience take Southern.
It's Alcorn.
They get on me.
They get on me about that. It's Alcorn.
Yeah, and they text me all the time when you say it crazy. They say Cole should know because he's from SWAC. So I get that all the time. So
Alcorn.
Hey man, listen, Alcorn, those Braves, listen. Since they've been over there in that West, this is it's always been a big game, but it's even bigger. It's Alcorn knows the assignment. It's Southern's homecoming. Alcorn would do nothing more to ruin Southern's homecoming. Southern is not a good team. They've gotten 2 wins that they shouldn't have gotten. They shouldn't have won the Texas Southern game. They should not have won.
Grambling.
I'm talking about Southern.
Yeah,
Southern,
they shouldn't have. Go ahead.
Prairie View.
Yeah,
Prairie
Prairie
View.
And so, and again, they've done nothing to show me that they're a good team. They're not a good team. I think Alcorn is not a great team, but I think they're better than the average team as the way they're playing. So I'm taking Alcorn, man. I think Alcorn is going to go down there, and like I say, they can drink and have all the fun. And Perry, and congratulate the Perry, White, 40 under 40. Proud of him. You know what I mean? Knew the boy was super intelligent, but again, getting that recognition. But all Perry's going to do is get that award because he's not going to get no win.
All right.
Okay, I was just going to say, I think the quarterback, the coach, and the program all goes to Alcorn. There's no reason why they shouldn't win this game. Go ahead. Now, this is the big one. This is the big one, guys. This is the one we all been waiting for. Now, if FAMU pulls this one off, they have replaced Jackson State as the SWAC boogeyman, because they would have lost 2 games to Jackson the first 2 years, no games to nobody the 3rd year in the SWAC, and has the potential of going undefeated again if they beat Jackson State on Saturday. They would be officially the SWAC boogeyman that nobody wants to see under their bed. What do you guys think?
Campbell, you smiling, your cheeks are red, and your heart's beating fast. Hey, this is your baby.
Well, here's the thing. I told everybody before the season started, and everybody's seeing it, 10, 19, 24 was going to determine the SWAC championship. Nothing has changed. Nothing's changed my mind. These are the 2 best teams in the SWAC. So the question comes in, and I've heard my Jack State people, boy, they hey man, they want that mass meeting, they were breaking it down. But I'm gonna break some things down on the other side, because here's what I'm gonna say, and Jackson State is playing better than FAMU. There's no doubt in my mind. They've executed better on offense. Hell, we ain't even scored over 28 points yet. But what I will say is, if you look at our schedules pound for pound, Jackson State has not played nowhere near the schedule that we played. If you look at Jackson State's best win, which will be what? Alabama A&M, Southern, are you going to say that those teams are better than Alabama State or South Carolina State? No, you're not going to say that. So for us, to be honest with you, Jack State might be the third best team that we're playing this year. So we're not going to be intimidated by playing Jack State because we play better competition. So now the question is, as Bishop Bonnet says, here is the thing. If Jackson State, them boys get to running, and it's 14-21, yeah, Jackson State is going to be it's going to be one of them long days. But if FAMU, because again, let me just tell you something that people, and this is what I'm talking about. People, again, no disrespect to everybody. FAMU letting people run up, but you got to watch the games. All that happens in the first half. You go ask me how many times people rushed in the second half against us. 45 yards, 50 yards. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. For all those rushing yards that you guys, fam, you can't stop. I tell you one thing we do stop, people from getting in the end zone. We don't allow people getting in the end zone. They run up and down the field. We only gave up 23 points to Norfolk, 18 points, South Carolina State, 13 points to Alabama State. And I'm counting those two because we know when Miami and Troy are. And like I said, we win that Troy game. So you did not see any of these teams score 30 on us. None of them. So what I will say is, if FAMU can get, and they've got to execute, because this is one of those games they have not played to their ability. This is a game they've got to play to their ability. They can't turn the ball over. So if they can keep the game close, I'm going to say this. I'm going to trust Daniel Richardson compared to Jacoby and Moore, because Daniel Richardson has 45 starts at quarterback. Jacoby Morgan was his 9th, 10th start. Has he played in a game like this? No. Has he won a big game yet? Not yet, because they ain't played a big game yet. And he didn't play it till the end of the year, last year. So this is a lot of pressure on that kid to make sure they keep the train on the track. So I totally believe if FAMU can come in there, keep the game close, and not make the mistakes, not allow Terrell to go crazy, Fortillon to go crazy, play the game that we played it, and finally let our offense get clicking, then we got a chance to win it. But if not, hey, Jack State, this game could easily be 42-14. There's no doubt in my mind. But for us to win it, it's got to be a game 28-24, 28-17, somewhere in there for us to win it. But I tell you one thing, I can guarantee you, and Bishop, one thing I know FAMU is not worried about, they're not intimidated to come play this game. Because the one thing about it, we have won big games. We have played in them, and we played a harder schedule. That's just a fact. There's nothing else. Jack State people can't argue with me about that, because they can talk about the running, talk about the scoring. Look at where has anybody scored 30 on us. They have not.
Well,
So,
I don't have to ask you who you picking, but I'll go ahead and pick. Now, this is a situation where styles make fights, right? Jackson State wants to run the ball sometimes. FAMU has problem stopping the run. But in this situation, I got to go with the champ. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And I'm going to take FAMU even on the road in Jackson. Those Florida boys, until you beat them, I'm going to go with them. Go ahead, Coach Cole.
You sticking with that?
Yeah.
I told you guys that I think that Jackson State is going to win the game. FAMU is only averaging about 19 points a game. I don't think you win. The only one going to lose this game for Jackson State is Coach Taylor, TC Taylor. He's scoring more. He's putting up big points. He's scoring 35 points a game, Coach. to Florida A&M's 19. I think Florida A&M run out of gas. I think that it finally catches up with them because nobody else can score, and everybody else struggles offensively against them. Not only is that, Jackson State's defense is good. You know, they average only giving up 24 points a game, where Florida A&M is giving up 28. But I know you probably removed that.
Because
What
you can't. But
Miami?
that's what I'm saying. You can't count that because Miami
Yeah.
game is in there.
Yeah. Look, can I get my chance there, Clark?
But come on, Coach. Don't be skewing no stuff now.
So the numbers telling me, Coach, the numbers are telling me that Jackson State will win the football game 24-17. I'm not saying that they're going to go in there and blow Florida A&M. They ain't. But Jackson State can run the football as well as throw it. If Jackson State don't win this game, it's because of TC Taylor. I'm calling you out, Coach. You got the offense. You got the defense. You just don't get cute because Florida A&M, I'm going to give them their coaching staff, they will make some adjustments. But hopefully you can jump up early in the game and win this game. I told you, Jackson State is going to beat Florida A&M, and then Alabama State is going to beat Jackson State. That's how I see it.
Well, that's Coach. Now, what's funny? Now, that's when, and I want to know what the tie. If somebody in the chat can pull up what the tiebreakers are, because that potentially, if Alabama State doesn't lose another conference game and they beat Jackson, that's a 3-way tie. If everybody runs the table.
Guys, Jackson State is good on defense as well now.
Yeah.
They sitting in number 2 on defense and number 1 on offense. Meaning, I ain't saying they're going to stop Florida A&M, but they're going to stop them enough for Jackson State to score. Florida A&M has been giving up points, early. And I just think that Jackson State's offense is good enough to score late to beat them 24-17, somewhere in there. I give it to you. Quarterbacks, I give it to Richardson. Coaching staff, I give it to Florida A&M because they make great adjustments at halftime. But I just think Jackson State got too much firepower. And Coach Taylor is on him. They don't win this game, Coach. It's because of Coach Taylor. That's how I see it.
Well, let me say one thing. Coach, looking at it, that's why this game. Yeah, no, I think everything that you say is legitimate. I think your breakdown, I'm going to tell you what I'm excited about. That, again, ESPN sees the value in this game. I think, from my understanding, the weather's going to be beautiful. I know a lot of people from Jackson are going to show up. FAMU's going to bring a pretty good crowd. I think we're going to have a championship environment. So I hope that both teams play their best. I don't want Jackson State to have a Grambling game, and I don't want us to have a South Carolina State game. I want us to play our best, both teams, and whoever wins, I'll respect it. Because one thing I'm always going to do is respect the scoreboard. And if Jackson State wins that game, I'll tip my hat to them. I'll be proud of them, and hopefully they'll do what they got to do, and we'll do the same. But the thing I'm most excited about is that we're playing this game in Jackson.
And I was going to say, and they playing at home. So that's my prediction. Jackson State.
Well, I seen them lose the Soul Bowl at home. Didn't they lose the Soul Bowl at home one year?
They lost to Alabama State last year, and they lost to Alcorn at home.
Oh, okay. TC was just warming up.
No, I agree with that. I think
was just warming up.
Yeah, I think Jackson State is well prepared to win this game. They're positioned to win this game. And I think, again, so let's be honest. If we want to say it, Jackson State is probably going to be favored in this game. In the rankings, I don't care nothing about the rankings. I bet you when the line comes out, Jackson State's going to be favored. And, well, they should. I think they deserve it. I've said this. Jackson State is playing better.
Yeah, but the numbers say that. The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I also know our defensive number. Well, let me ask you this question, Coach. So, and this is where I guess with the numbers, the 3 HBCUs we played, The most they scored is 24 points.
Okay.
They just let Alabama A&M, and again, I know they took the foot off the gas, but they still put 38 on them. Grambling scored points on them.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's why I'm saying some of that. I guess this is why I say bodes well for FAMU. At least they have played stiff competition. And I'll tell you this. Let me ask you a question, Cole. Who do you think has a better defense, Alabama State or Jackson State?
Alabama State or Jackson State? Yeah. I think both of them got great defense. Both of them.
Okay.
Both got great defense.
Right. So Jackson State has not played a team to the level of Alabama State defense. We have. So do you not think that's not a great preparation to play against Jackson State's defense?
I think that Florida A&M struggles on both sides of the ball to me. They didn't impress me against South Carolina State. They should have lost that game. Let's just say it. We can say it. They didn't impress me against Norfolk. They should have lost that game. He was on the 1 yard line, but they didn't. Of course, we ain't talking about Florida A&M, so that's two legitimate losses right there. So I just think that TC Tatum, they would have beat Grambling, but you can't beat nobody with 5 turnovers. I mean, they beat them everywhere in the numbers except but in the turnover. Right. So once again, I think that Coach Taylor, I'm putting it on his shoulders. I'm putting it on his shoulders, Coach. They got the better football team.
I don't disagree with you, Coach, that Jackson State has a better football team.
I don't.
But I'm talking situationally.
Only thing that, to me, Florida A&M got over them is the quarterback and a better coaching staff, I think. And I shouldn't use better, a more experienced coaching staff. And they made great adjustments. And that could be a game changer. We've watched them go. We was at Norfolk. They came in at halftime. They fixed it, or at least slowed it up. South Carolina State, at halftime, they slowed that run game up. But Jackson State can throw it. And TC Taylor, you guys talk about Simmons. I'm going to talk about my SWAC man. TC Taylor can dial it up, but he does get too cute sometimes, Coach. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see it.
Well, and again, this is one of the things I see. Florida A&M has been in tight ball games and performed really well. I haven't seen that from Jackson State this year. And I just question whether or not Jacoby Morgan.
Coach, they're blowing everybody out. They're blowing everybody out.
I get it, but I don't think they're going to be able. I don't think they're going to be able to blow FAMU out based on who FAMU has played and how they've played against them. Like if you put Jackson State, if they play at their optimum level, the team that they probably will match up against best up on Florida A&M schedule is Troy, right? If they play at their very best, they can present some of the same issues as Troy. And
guys, listen.
And in my opinion, FAMU should have won that game.
Look what I say. But they can't score. That's why they didn't win it. Florida A&M is not fluent on offense. Guys, Jackson State losing to Grambling is like Vanderbilt beating Alabama. They just won on that day. You know what I'm saying? Look at the they had almost 500 yards of offense versus Grambling's 270 something. But they had 5 turnovers. If they don't turn that ball over, man.
So Coach, do you throw the Grambling game out when you? So here's my point, Coach.
Yes.
So you want us to throw the Grambling game out and the second half of the Alabama A&M game out? That's a lot of football to throw out, Coach.
No, I just the Grambling game. I just say the Grambling game.
What do you make of the second half of the Alabama A&M game?
Oh, come on, Coach. The mud was over there.
See what I'm saying? You want me to throw that out too? You want me to throw that out?
No, coach, it was 38-3. Hell, me and you, if we were hanging around the locker room, they'd have gave us a helmet to go out there. Shit. Come on, I'd have gave you a fullback dive up the middle. You'd have got hit and the ball was shot everywhere, and they'd have picked it up and scored. Man, they beat Alabama A&M out the gate, coach. Out the gate.
Well, coach, let me ask you a question. How much value? I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna ask you the question. Is South Carolina State better than Southern? Is South Carolina State better than Grambling? Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so they have not even played a team to that level.
Right, I agree with. Let me say this:
Alabama State is better than all that. So I guess where does any value come in playing harder competition? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But, coach, they're averaging 35 points a game.
Or are they doing that because they're playing weaker competition? That's why I
guess. Yes, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They scoring 7 touchdowns a game, coach. I mean, 6 touchdowns a game.
5 touchdowns.
5. Let me get my math right. They score 5 touchdowns a game, and sometimes they're scoring 6 and 7.
The only thing I'll say to Campbell's point, and it may be when are y'all gonna cut loose and run it up on somebody is my question.
Well, here's the thing, and this goes
That's
back
a good
to
question, coach.
Well,
That's
okay,
a hell of a question.
I think Coach Cole's. So let's talk about this, right? And this is the thing with FAMU and I think Coach Cole has said this. FAMU has not played well because in the South Carolina State game, we were driving the ball, should have beat them by 2 touchdowns, fumbled the ball. That was a problem. Same thing with South Carolina State. It's about execution. So the question is, can this team go in and finally execute? Because they have not executed all year. So that's the question. But the thing about it is you only got to execute one time to win this game. And that's the thing about it. Can the defense play? Can the offense play what they're supposed to? Now, again, I've said this. I think Jack State is playing better. Again, I don't think this is going to be one of those games. Again, Jack State should be favored. They probably will be favored.
Coach, Florida A&M their program has been winning because they are champions. You know what I mean? They are champions. But I just think the gas tank is just about empty. You know what I mean? You've played some tough teams and you've been able to hang on, and make that one play. I just think that you're at the end of your rope. And they don't tie the damn knot and all that. And they hanging on by one damn finger. You know what I'm saying?
Now, the only thing that's giving me pause about picking FAMU is this. They went down to Alabama State a few weeks ago, and against a 4th-string quarterback, the game was still in the balance in the 4th quarter.
But we played the number 1 defense, right? That see, you got it. Okay, so let me ask you. You can't.
Jackson State is number 2.
Okay, and exactly. So my thing about it is you don't act like Alabama State's defense don't put the lockdown on people. Now hold on. Now it's 2 sides to that. So you keep saying it like the defense doesn't play football. So I ask you all: is Alabama State, for all the defense you've seen, do they have the best defense in the SWAC?
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be expected their defense to play well.
They were playing a 4th-string quarterback, Campbell.
And they didn't score. They only scored 13 points.
How much did you? Let's take the fumble away at the end. How much did you score?
Okay, but we played against the number 1 defense. See, you keep missing. It's offense versus defense.
But
right?
now you're going to play against the number 2 defense.
Okay, and I'm going to say this again. So I keep saying my point of it is, which you guys are getting my point. That means we should be prepared to play against the number 2 defense. We have played better defenses.
So my question to you is, what are the chances that you guys hold Jackson State to 13 points?
No, we can't. No, that's not going to happen. No, that's not going to happen. No. This game, the way this game has got to be won, this game is going to be, for us to win it, we got to get 28 points. We got to get 28 points. Now, can we hold Jackson State to 24? Yeah, I can believe we could do that.
Okay. Okay.
I believe that. I believe that too. But
Yeah.
they just haven't done it.
Yeah. Well, right. You're right.
They have Florida A&M just haven't done it. I mean, and they've been winning on program. They've been winning on their staff, makes great adjustments. But when somebody can run like you can run, and he got all kind of weapons. The quarterback is playing great, all kind of weapons. They got a hell of a tailback. They run the ball 200 yards as well as they throw it damn near 3. So it's gonna be tough, coach. That's all I say. It's gonna be tough. But the numbers say that, and I just think, and Coach Taylor got a good coaching staff down there too, because they recruited these kids in there. But we'll see. It's a big game. It's you. Of course, I know you're going, Coach. Right?
Hey man, listen. I'm leaving 8 in the morning. I'm going to get in there because I'm gonna have to get the Escalade washed up so I can ride all around Jackson looking good. A lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna see a lot of my Jackson people. I'm gonna link up with Ken and Zoe and TD and those guys and all my Jackson people that I grew up with. Man, yeah. Listen, I'm listen. I'm gonna say this again. I'm a SWAC football fan. I'm excited because this is what this is about. Big games. I grew up with big games like this. So I'm excited about this. Is my school, my schools, my family school I attended, and it's a big game. So like I said, I'm happy no matter what. I'm excited because I want to see both of them to play well. And like I said, I'm a big fan of TC Taylor's. I'm a big fan of Coach Cozy, and they're the new generation. I want them guys to be the new guys. I want them when people see, the funny thing about it, me being from Jackson, I told people what I liked about this, and I think Coach Taylor and Coach Cozy said, football rivalry. It's kind of like LSU and Alabama. Alabama and Auburn is a rivalry, but LSU and Alabama, and now when you see Georgia and Alabama, that's a football rivalry. And I like the fact that this is becoming a football rivalry. I'm excited about that.
Coach, Jackson State and Alabama State's defense, both of them 6 games. Alabama State has gave up 15 TDs. Jackson State has gave up 19 TDs. So that's been the difference. One is giving up 18 points a game, and the other one giving up 24. So that's a score. So that's offensively, Jackson State's 35.5. And Florida A&M is scoring 19 points a game. They ain't even scoring the nation's average, Coach. The nation's average is about 21 to 24.
Well, you take the Miami game out.
Oh yeah.
Then we do. Like I say again, if you take the Miami game,
but then Jackson State can say, "Well, take the Grambling game out."
Well, no, because you can't, that's on our level. No, you can't say that. You can say take the Troy game out, but no, level is level. Grambling is a SWAC team.
Well, it's 2 conversions. You could say that, or you could say
Miami and Grambling not the same.
Yeah, take out one team.
But my point of it is Miami and Grambling are not the same.
Right,
so you can't say remove Miami and remove Grambling. I say compare apples to apples. If you want to remove ULM and ULM from Jackson State, honestly, and you remove Miami from us, and we still keep Troy, we play the hardest schedule.
Oh no, ain't no question, Coach.
No. I don't think there's no question about you guys' schedule, right? I mean, but
y'all struggled against Norfolk to score. You struggled against South Carolina State to score. You struggled against Alabama State to score. That's 3 HBCU schools.
Yeah, and those schools also struggle to score against us. You I guess there's a side of that too, right? Nobody scored 30 on us.
Right. I get you.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you guys act like we're giving up 30 points a game.
South Carolina State don't score 30 a game. Norfolk don't score 30 a game. Them schools don't score 30 a game like Jackson State. Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm not arguing your point, but what I'm saying is, again, the question was, what value does having played a tougher competition mean to when you're? And I'm gonna say this again. The thing about it is, I will believe FAMU can sit back and honestly say that we have played better competition. Jack State might be the 3rd best team we played. So we should not be intimidated by playing Jackson State.
Oh, I don't think y'all gonna be that. Shit, y'all the Black College National Champions. And I think that's what's gonna make those kids play tough.
Yeah. Oh no, Paris, I don't see. I do see. Hey, listen. I'm good. Listen. I totally understand. Coach is making sense. You got. I mean, first of all, look. Okay, let's put a pause here. I'm not an idiot. Jackson State's averaging 35 points. It's simple. Like Zoe made this thing. Jackson State scoring 35 points. FAMU's only averaging 20 points. That don't take anybody of any level of intelligence to make that analysis.
Right.
The analysis is not that. Anybody can pull that. The analysis what Coach Cole is giving, which I like what he's saying, and what my point of it is let's move that and who they played and what they're doing. So what Coach Cole is saying is, okay, Campbell, I'm gonna give you that, but when you played, you all did not play well. Right. That is an analysis, not that Jackson State's averaging 35 points. That's a smart number.
Yeah, and I'm saying that against even competition. That's all I'm saying.
And that's what my point of it is. That's what my point. That's why I think the game is going to be closer than a lot of people are saying. And I think that's why this game is going to be a great game, because I think both of these teams have the ability to play hard-nosed football, because the teams that they play, again, I'm talking about FAMU on the defensive side, has shown that even though you're running the ball, you're not getting in the end zone. And that gives me hope. So the question is, and I will say this too, Coach, and we saw this. Coach Cozy said this. It's not that we're getting blown off the ball. It's assignment football. We are missing assignments. So again, those are things, Coach, you talked about this. I got personnel, then I talk scheme, right? I played in my personnel. So clearly he feels good about the personnel. It's about the scheme and coaching the guys up to make because even Bishop said it. Deco Wilson, that 7-yard run Alabama State gets, Deco Wilson's right there. I'm looking at it. He missed the tackle. Right. You take that out, then there's no touchdown there. So I think for me, why I'm excited is that I'm going to tell you what I would have been worried. If we were giving up 35, 30 points and we were winning 31, 30 games, I was like, yeah, we ain't got no shot. But I do like the fact that defense does travel. I would like,
Coach, I would like for you to score 31.
Listen, if we score 31,
Coach, if y'all was scoring 24 a game, if y'all was scoring 24 a game, I would be a little more happy to say, okay, Coach, they just ain't showed me no explosiveness.
Coach, we had 24 against Norfolk. There go your 24. We missed South Carolina State. We scored 22 and we scored 28 against Alabama. And we'll take out we scored 21 because we got a defensive touchdown.
All right. I got you. We'll see. All right, Coach, man.
We're about to get out of here, but I'll say this, and I'll say this about the Norfolk State game, and I'm going to be about the South Carolina State game, because I've been trying to, I just believe in FAMU. That's really the only way. All the statistics, I think, point toward Jackson State winning the game, but I just believe FAMU has a better team. They has the better coach. They had a better quarterback. But I'll say this. If y'all don't run for more than 34 yards against Jackson State, y'all going to lose.
34 yards?
We ran over 100 yards every game. When did we ran for 34 yards?
34 yards?
Rocky, we ran 100 yards in every game other than the Miami game.
No. So now unless the stats are wrong. Oh, it's okay. 133 yards. All right, got you.
Yeah, we averaged like 90 yards a game.
Okay, I got
That's another thing too. See, we passed this up to run. So people keep acting like we don't run. I tell you, let me ask you guys a question. If you can get 100 yards rushing, is that at least above average or average at least?
Yeah, it's average. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So
if y'all get
what now?
If you run over 100 yards, run 100 yards, Coach. Rushing, total.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's average.
You want to be at about 150 yards.
Okay.
Rushing.
Well, that's okay. So that's fun that you said. Let me see something. You said you want to be at 150 yards rushing, right?
Yeah, y'all average.
Y'all ain't hit 150 all year.
Well, no, I just wanted to see.
You ain't gotta. Y'all ain't trying to.
I wanted to see how many teams. So Alcorn's got 200 yards rushing. Alabama A&M 192. Alabama State is at 190. Jack State's 166. Southern's at 149. Those are the teams that meet coach's criteria.
Mm-hmm.
You
you want to be at 150.
you want to be right at 350 plus yards to have a
Offense.
successful.
Yeah. Coach, my deal with FAMU, if FAMU can run as well as they did against South Carolina State, they got a good chance to win the football game. They got a great chance to win the football. If they can run for 133 yards against Jackson State, they got a good chance to run the ball. Because I think them running the ball opens up something else, exposes Jackson State secondary. And once Jackson State secondary is exposed, I think, it's a shootout at that point.
You want me to tell you the one thing? I didn't mention this, but I'm going to tell you the one thing. Jackson State, and this is a credit, they like to play on schedule, right? They're not a team that functions well 3rd and 13, 3rd and 9. Their teams, you know what, 3rd and 3, 2nd and 5, things like that. And then you know why they can do that? And then that's when they can say, hey, you know what? We look like we're going to run the ball, and Fortillion all of a sudden makes those great plays down the field. That's the thing about why we've got now on our side. That's why we've got to pressure their quarterback and get them behind the sticks and get them off schedule. Because what I want this to do, I really want this to be where Jackson State has to throw the ball more than what they have to, where they have to depend on throwing the ball. So that's going to require us to play some defense and get them on, not allow them get 5.5 yards, first down, second down, where they're, like I say again, 4 yards, where they're in 3rd and 3 constantly. Because that's a losing proposition for us. We've got to put them behind the sticks.
Absolutely.
Coach, I mean, when I just keep going down and look at more numbers and more numbers on Jackson State, man. Shit, Coach. Shit. They got 17 sacks. Florida A&M got 8 interceptions. Jackson State got 5. Florida A&M got 2.
And we just got those two last game.
Sacks against Jackson State. They only gave up 6 sacks. Florida A&M gave up 11 sacks. Hey, look, let's call it, man.
All right, man. Hey,
Coach, it's going to be a great game this weekend, baby.
Take us out, Coach.
Man, look, man, it's election time getting around the corner, baby. We need to get to it. Hey, again, everybody should go and get that HBCU Go app. Hit that app. It's a free app. It's free streaming. They got some college football games on there. They got a lot of talking about blackness, black awareness, HBCU schools. If you're an HBCU graduate, you can actually go find your school and find out what's happening on there. It's been this is the 3rd year of the HBCU Go. It's about us, it's for us, and it's by us. A guy named Alan, damn, man, I gotta remember his name. But the CEO is Curtis Simon, and it's a black man that owns it. He's a billionaire. He also owns a weather station. So support the HBCU Go Round and look for yours truly. J. Cole on the mic. I just had Clark and Central State this last week. This week I have Bowie State and Bluefield. Yeah, Bluefield is a black college. Again, vote. Guys, man, life is good. Don't think that when your lows just bottom out. God only put on you what he knows that you can take. Be nice and be kind. Tomorrow, man, when you go out, just be nice to somebody. Just tell them thank you, hello, those little words. And I guarantee you, man, you'll have joy in your life. Thank you guys for continuing to watch our show. Thank my 2 guys, Rocky and the Bishop, man, for their time and their effort. And as I always say, if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.